certain situations, I think.
What's a situation where you can apply moral relativism?
Uh, I feel like I could come up with something if it weren't 8 a.m. I feel like I could come up with
Oh
You
shit.
gotta
something
hit
if
him
I
with
don't
the
know.
8
I feel like I
It's
could.
really
I want to
relishing
think I
on
could.
the
I don't
inside.
know. Yeah, it's relative when you think about it.
Yeah, the
That's
morals
true.
really do be relative sometimes. That's what I'd
Mm.
be saying, honestly. My favorite use of moral relativism is in the Spider-Man Snapcube fan dub, where Spider-Man's love interest Mary Jane brings it up to Spider-Man, and he complains that she brings up too much philosophy, and it's causing him to be more depressed. And then she starts making puns off of philosopher names.
That sounds pretty good.
It's a pretty
I
good
only
bit.
watched the Sonic ones. Yeah,
Honestly,
I
all of
should
their
check
other
that
ones
out.
are better.
Okay.
That's my hot take for the for the whole episode. I think that the Sonic Snapcube fan dubs are worse than like all of their other ones. Like they're fucking the Spider-Man one and the Until Dawn one are my two favorites. They're both fucking hilarious. Specifically, the Until Dawn one has a bit where one of the people just is Markiplier, and one of the guys doing the acting just acts as Markiplier, doing a really interesting Markiplier impression. And over the course of the fan dub, he becomes self-aware, and then he starts talking like as an actor. It's a really interesting like improv bit. I really like it.
It sounds pretty good. Yeah, I feel like Until Dawn is almost like inherently funny. Like I don't know if you can even just play that as a video game without finding the whole, large chunks of it very funny. I feel like I would anyway.
I have not played Until Dawn. I've only consumed it through the fan dub, and I honestly don't want to play it because I think that that's just the best way to consume Until Dawn.
Yeah, I've seen a couple people play through it, and it just seems like a very silly game.
Anyways, UFR. We're here. We're live. We've talked about moral relativism. You can knock that one off your bingo card if you have it. We are. This is episode 39. We're going on. We're very quickly encroaching on 50, which is cool. I'm excited to do 50 and 40. And next episode is going to be a little bit of a special one, assuming I can get it all, get everything that I want to have happen. I've already alluded to what the episode is in a previous UFR, but I'm not going to spoil it any further, because I'm really excited about that one. Assuming I can get the two people on that I want to get on, so that's gonna be really fun. But yeah, today we have the purple guy, PurpleColonel. How are you doing? How are you doing? You've talked about moral relativism, but how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been up all night working on various things, but it's good to be here. It's always fun to be on.
Yeah, the last time you were here, we talked about Minecraft.
Yeah, and I was on the cell phone, but this time I'm not. It's a real microphone, and it should hopefully be better.
That's
I
good.
hope.
And also we've got our first time guest. Was in like a UFR extended universe thing where I played Powerhouse for 6 hours, but hasn't been on actual UFRs. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I woke up early on my day off because I wanted to be here and talk about how graphic bad.
Yes, we are
Good
going.
graphic bad.
I'm excited. We're gonna get into it. Do you want to introduce for the people in the chat? Do you want to introduce who you are for those who don't know?
Yeah, sure. I made a video. How many years has it been? It's like 7 years ago about how default settings bad in TF2, and then I just kind of went from there. Now I kind of stream every week, testing custom maps, and that's about it, I think.
Aren't you that guy who built the gingerbread house?
I did do that also. Thank you for noticing.
What's the only thing I've seen?
What do you
No
mean you built a
offense.
gingerbread house?
Every year I also do a yearly gingerbread house video where I build a gingerbread house and then I find a new way to cause damage to it.
That's intriguing. Is that what why did you do that?
I just thought it would be interesting. I don't really like the taste of gingerbread for whatever reason.
What the
so
what?
I figured it would be an interesting way to
That you could have given that
get rid of
gingerbread
it.
to me. You don't have to. We don't. You could. There are people who could eat the gingerbread. Just because you don't enjoy it doesn't mean you have to deprive everyone else of delicious gingerbread.
No, but
Is it legal to like ship food all that way?
Look,
I think it depends. Gingerbread is probably fine.
if it is illegal, it shouldn't be because gingerbread is delicious. And you did not just call gingerbread fine.
No, fine to ship.
Oh, I thought you meant like it's just. I thought you meant it's like, oh, it's just okay. Like, no, gingerbread's fucking delicious. The best Starbucks drink that has ever been made is the gingerbread latte, and I wish that they had it year round because I think Starbucks is awful. But that drink is fucking delicious, and it makes me so happy. And also, Costa Coffee has a gingerbread latte, and they have like a little gingerbread man they put on the side of the cup, and that's also fucking delicious. I love gingerbread R is what I'm trying to say, and I'm slowly regretting that I got you on here because you hate gingerbread.
I'm sure if I had like actual like good gingerbread instead of this store-bought pre-made gingerbread house kit crap, I probably would like it. But
That's a good
all
point.
that I've had experience with.
That's a good point. That's actually a fair point that I hadn't considered.
You gotta purchase the gingerbread man. That's the original form. You gotta head to your bakery, pick one up.
I think the graphical fidelity of the gingerbread is really what matters. If the amount of polygons on your gingerbread is really what makes it taste so good.
That's true.
But yeah, so I think I don't really want to waste much time on the preamble today. I know that's like shocking. But I really do want to talk about the topic of today's stream. But first I did want to address one little eensy beensy little thing. Is that people who there might be some people in here who don't know what UFR is. Because I did a video, and the video is doing really, really well, and it's completely outside of my niche. So there might be a bunch of people in the stream today who don't know what this is. So I want to do a little small rundown of what UFR is, just in case there are people who don't know what UFR is. In short, this is a show that I run with me and the UE profile picture eating the TF2 sandwich. And we basically it's a YouTube review show. So we cover videos, we talk about what the videos could have done better, what they did well, and in an effort to both have a good time and also talk about some interesting subjects, and of course help any aspiring creators get a chance to know what they could be doing better in their own content, or if they want to get into YouTube, how best they could go about doing content according to us. Not to say we're the foremost authority on it, but I think we all have pretty interesting opinions on the matter. But yeah, so I just wanted to say all that, just in case there are new people in chat who do not know what the fuck we're doing. All right. Without any further ado, I want to get straight into this. We're missing one person to watch together. I'm assuming it's Alan. Alan!
I'm in there, yeah.
Alan! Alan! Holy shit, he's dead.
He's gone.
Holy fuck. Can we get some RIPs? Can we get some F in the chat for Alan? He's fucking dead. I guess while he's returning, I'll just continue. I'll continue fucking rambling. About we're covering a guy named Proxidist, I think is how you say his name, and his video about he made a video about why graphical fidelity is ruining gaming, which is and I thought it would be interesting to cover. But before we actually get into it, I did want to do a little preamble, because Proxidist is an interesting individual. He makes videos a very interesting way, and I wanted to do a little brief taste test, so to speak, before we actually get into the full length video. So we're gonna watch this video that he made recently about webfishing, which is 4 minutes long, and so very short. That just talks about why webfishing is so good, and I wanted to bring this up because I think it's a good preamble for us to know what we're getting into when we get into his 9-minute video about graphical fidelity. Is Alan still dead?
Seems to be.
I
Oh no.
should we wait for him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is he asleep? Is he dead? What happened?
I'm look, he did. There's no way.
Hello? What did I do? What?
Hello?
Join the fucking watch together.
Hit go without me. I'll catch up.
No, no. We can talk. We can ramble. That's what we do on this show. What the fuck?
I had to fucking do a thing.
Yeah, you had
You're
to.
the
should I
lifeblood
hit
of the
play?
show.
You are literally. If there are people in chat, press 1 in chat if you're here for Alan and no other reason. That's what I'm.
That's not. They're gonna press it ironically.
It's not ironic. It's not
It's
ironic.
like maybe jaunty. It's like jaunty web. That's what he's.
It's
here
literally
for.
look at them, Alan. All
Purple, you
adoring
don't
fans. All
Bias.
want to see you. They want you here. They want you present, and they want to hear what you have to say. Someone put -1. Okay.
Oh.
PurpleColonel, have you played Webfishing?
No, I have not. I know it's a furry game. Apparently,
Mhm.
I know
yes,
it's
sure.
Animal Crossing fishing, which is fun. And it's sort of a chat room within it with Animal Crossing fishing and stuff, and that's what I'm aware of.
I know we that's a pretty good cursory overview of the game. I know you said it before stream, but what do you have any familiarity with web fishing at all?
Not at all, aside from like screenshots friends have posted and that description that we just heard from PurpleColonel.
Nice, Alan. I know you know what web fishing is.
I've played it.
Yeah.
I wish it had voice chat so I could practice Japanese, and that's my only real criticism.
I too wish that I wish that there was a character in the game that just taught you Japanese. I wish they just put the Duolingo Japanese course in the game.
That would be crazy.
That'd be an improvement, I think.
No, I don't think you mean that either. But
no, I don't know. But yeah, so we all I love web fishing. It's fucking great. You don't need to hear me say that though, because I'm sure most of you know that. But let's see what Proxidus has to say. Are you guys ready? Are we ready?
Yep,
I'm ready.
yes.
Okay, cool. Or by the way, you could pause and play this whenever you want. You don't have to wait for any of us to do anything. Have gumption, okay?
If you were born in the early 2000s, you most definitely remember social games. You know the ones, stuff like Moshi Monsters, Club Penguin, and if you wanted to be different at the time, Bin Weevils. Do you guys remember Bin Weevils? Aside from something like Roblox, I'm not entirely sure if I could.
Okay, so can we talk?
Is Bin Weevils real? I thought he just made that up.
No, Bin Weevils is a real thing. You guys know what Bin Weevils is?
No.
You don't know
Why
what
do they look like that?
You don't know what Bin Weevils is?
I want to be
You
a
do?
bug.
Yes, Bin Weevils is like a Club Penguin style like social game. Hold on, let me pull up some Bin Weevils real quick.
If Club Penguin just isn't fucking gross enough for you, I guess. Jesus.
It's yeah, no, this is
I thought we left all the gross out stuff in the 90s.
this is awful. Hold on. I'm trying to find a good It's not even like gross out stuff. I just need to like pull up a picture of that it like encapsulates Bin Weevils here real quick. This is Bin Weevils. I think you pick and you make like little bug creatures, I think is the premise.
No.
I never played this. I just knew that it existed, and it's kind of horrifying, and I hate it.
Why are there cacti if it's so green?
I don't know. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
Doesn't make any sense. Cacti thrive in dry environments.
I
God.
did you guys play any like social games like the ones you mentioned, like Club Penguin, Moshi Monsters, Webkins, Club Knives? Yeah. Like
I kind of avoided
play-
these, honestly.
I played Club Penguin and Webkins. Those two.
do you still have your Webkins? I'm curious.
I tried logging into the account a couple years ago and it's just gone.
But do you have the physical like the plush?
Yeah, they're in the attic somewhere.
Yay! That's the important part. I think I still think Webkins is the coolest one of the like the old timey kind of social chat room games. You guys ever play Habbo Hotel?
No. I had a Webkin once and it got stolen. It was like a kiwi or something. It was it was very soft and nice,
Mm.
and it was stolen from me, and it's just gone now. So
That's sad. What animal was it?
kiwi or something.
Was it?
It was it had like sparse hair on it,
Huh?
sort of like there was, you know, it wasn't totally fluffy all over. There was a weird sort of texture for it, but yeah.
Was it
Uh,
was it getting stolen like a traumatic experience for you?
A little bit. I was pretty unhappy about it. Yeah, I never used it in the game. I don't think it might not have even been a Webkin. Honestly, it might have just been one of the
Might
friends
might have
stuffed
just
animal.
been
I
a
don't
stuffed
remember.
animal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll see. I'm pretty sure it was a Webkin. I don't know. Maybe not. Actually, I have no idea.
Alan, what about you? You have any experience with any of these kinds of games?
The closest thing I got into was Pop Tropica, but
Oh, that is.
I played that too.
Yeah, Pop Tropica is another example of this. I didn't even think about that when I was doing research for this stuff.
I think the focus is slightly different, but it
Yeah.
definitely has that aspect to it.
Yeah, it's. I think these are usually called social MMOs. That's like the technical term.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I think that I think these games are really interesting because they like basically don't exist, and web fishing is like one of the only modern games that has come out recently that kind of takes what they did and tries to do it again. Yeah, no, I don't know why. I think these games kind of died out in the age of like hyper competitive esports computer gaming, and also games where like the point is you play with friends. Like I feel like the play with strangers thing became competitive, and the play with friends thing became really insular. So there's not like, oh, I play casually with random people. That's not really a thing anymore.
Well, and you used to have more of that back in the day as well, like fucking Xbox Live lobbies and stuff, right?
Gosh.
But sometime in like the mid 2010s, it got sort of away from that.
And it's all Overwatch's fault.
It's all, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's not true.
It was a Webkins. It was a platypus named Googles, apparently.
That's fucking amazing. Holy shit.
I love that. Oh my god, I had one too.
That's all. So
Yeah.
That's so fucking cool.
It was pretty good, and now it's gone.
When are we gonna get competitive matchmaking for Webkins?
We need that. That's what the game needs. The game needs its own meet your match.
That'll revive it. That'll bring it back from obscurity and make it a big esport.
Yeah.
Please, Jill.
Just transform the Webkins into a platform fighter. You know what?
That could be good, actually.
Now that I think about it,
That'd be kind of cool.
yeah, right. Like Webkins as a platform fighter would be actually kind of fire. Holy shit. Yeah. No, also, Webkins was kind of like the OG version of Toys to Life, like the Skylanders and shit.
Honestly, yeah, it was ahead of its time in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, now I miss Webkins. This is the Webkins nostalgia episode.
I didn't realize more of us had a connection to that.
I feel like it's like a secret memory that a bunch of like born in the early 2000s kids had. Early 2000s, late 90s. Also, this editing is
Yeah, I wanted to mention it earlier. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a valid critique about its quality necessarily, but like this style of editing is something I just cannot jive with.
This is like when I was talking about in like the last episode, we had a very long conversation about like good versus bad editing and how much it matters. This is like what like Richter thought I meant when I said I think I want editing people to care more about editing. This is like what he thought I meant. Like this is not it.
Is better.
Yeah, it's just like I just put shit on the screen. The music has changed like 3 or 4 times since he started the video, and we are 14 seconds in. This is oof.
I pray it gets better.
We'll see.
Something like Roblox, I'm not entirely sure if I could really call these games, because aside from some crappy minigames you could play, the main focus was on the social aspect. Customizing your character, decking them out with immaculate drip, talking to and meeting new people, making new friends, going to your friend's place on Roblox, seeing all their awful ass creations, and then adding each other on Skype and prank calling Club Penguin, because it was something everyone did. I mean, I did it loads, it has to be a universal experience, right?
I'm not really following your.
He just said like.
What the hell is he talking about?
The universal experience.
First of all, yeah, what the fuck? We've gone off the deep end.
Is he prank calling like the customer service for Club Penguin, or?
I think he's prank calling like the Club Penguin phone number, whatever that is.
The club.
Oh.
He's prank
There's
calling
no
the
way
club.
that was a real thing.
Whatever. My thing is like he said like 5 different ways of this, 5 different versions of the same thing, which is just like, oh, you talk to your friends, which is like sure. Also, I would still describe all of the. I wouldn't describe Roblox as a game in and of itself. I would describe it as like a game engine.
Yeah.
And then there are games made with it, but all the other ones I'd still describe as games.
I used to call Nintendo every couple months and just ask them when the next Mario was coming out and if my favorite characters would be in it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Usually they weren't, and
Oh.
it wasn't very helpful.
That's kind of wholesome, though.
That is pretty
Didn't
wholesome.
leak any information to you.
Yeah.
Didn't Donkey used to do videos where he would call Nintendo and like ask them similar questions?
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like something Donkey would do. I think they had his number blocked or something at some point.
Yeah, I know there was prank calls where people would ask him if they could like talk to Mario or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you guys know there was like a thing where Scott Cawthon leaked his phone number and people would just call him and ask like, "Hey, when's the new FNAF game coming out?" This was like in 2016. So he was like, "Well, how'd you get my fucking phone number?" That was a good day.
Yeah.
He man. That poor man.
Yeah.
Be a universal experience, right?
I'm not really following your idea.
So they would fly planes to crash into the Twin Tower.
I did this
What the fuck?
Too soon. That's too soon.
What is I assume that's not him, so I assume he just got that from somewhere, but like what the fuck?
Yeah. That was edgy humor back in the day. Was like, oh yeah, 9/11.
Back in the day is crazy.
Well, I mean, when you're playing fucking.
That is
Club
still
Penguin,
edgy. It is
dude.
never not been edgy humor. I think it's been edgy humor since 2001.
I don't know if. You think it's still edgy?
Yes.
I feel like it's been
Well-
long enough that most people are just like, oh yeah, that thing that I
guess it's not
wasn't even
edgy.
alive for.
It's still humor
It was
though.
internet
edgy.
people, at least.
Yeah.
What
You can
is
still find people who get upset about it, but very
Yeah.
few people. I don't. You know, it's been a while, so.
Put him out of times. And it was the same lady every single time we prank called.
Thank you for calling Club Penguin. This is speaking. How can I help you?
Is your refrigerator running?
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up.
Most of these social games shut down
we're a fourth into this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
They're just trying everything to stretch it out as long as possible, and it's just started.
It's not even like if the video is about web fishing, we are a fourth into the video. He has not talked about web fishing, and
I
it's,
forgot what it was about.
that's what I'm saying. Like what? Like why are we here? What are we doing? What is the video? Oh my gosh! Imagine if you were in like a 4-hour video essay, and for the first hour he talks about something that isn't the topic. Like it'd just be like what?
I can see the impulse to start off, you know, with a little bit. If it's the game is so nostalgic, it's just like these old nostalgic things. Just start off about that. But this is, I don't know why it's. I feel like I wouldn't make a 4-minute video about very many things at all in general, just because I want to go deeper into any topic. So I guess I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like if you're going to make a video about something, you should probably have more than You should probably if you're gonna only say things in 4 minutes, that should be a very, like, dense 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why waste a video on a topic if you're only gonna, like, write a page of a script about it and then just call it a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a strange video.
PurpleColonel, has anyone told you sound like Owen Wilson?
No, I've been told I sound like Kermit the Frog many times. I've been told I sound like a lot of people, but not Owen Wilson.
Kermit the Frog sounds like something Richter would say.
I don't know. I feel like Richter's been told he sounds like Kermit the Frog as well.
Richter does not come. Richter does not.
Well, no one sounds like Kermit the Frog except for, like, I don't know, Jordan Peterson, who does. There's like one that's like the only guy in the whole world who does. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Chat wants me to say wow.
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 Yeah. That's pretty on point, actually. Yeah, you just sound like fucking. That's kind of uncanny.
Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this knowledge, but I hope you're happy.
I guess look up who Owen Wilson is.
Shut down years ago for a multitude of reasons, like Flash player dying, may it rest in peace. The only ones that are around now are like VR chat, which is full of people who only socialize through the game and never see the light of day.
There's nothing there.
And Roblox to an extent, and I'm gonna be honest, that shit hasn't been good since like 2012. I mean, aside from—
I feel like people in chat are gonna be very angry by that statement. People really like Roblox even to this day.
I don't know. I never played Roblox. I never got into that at all.
I feel like people really fucking like that game. Like people in chat are like, there are people in chat right now who probably have at least 300 hours in Phantom Forces alone.
Chat agrees with him anyway, so.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also thought that was gonna be a lot more
contentious.
Yeah.
He's right. Wow, that's crazy. My fault. My fault, chat. I thought Roblox was still the shit. My bad.
12. I mean, aside from Dress to Impress, of course, that's Game of the Year 2024. Well, there's a new social game on—
1 minute and 33 seconds in the 4-minute video.
Oh my god.
Pain.
See, I don't even feel like that's like a bad intro. That's like a normal intro to this sort of video. If it's like 10
to 15 minutes long, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know what he's gonna say about it. I guess webfishing is cool. You can talk to people, and then the video's over.
Well, also
that's essentially all he can say at this point.
Well, also, like, he didn't fucking say anything really. He said, all he said in the 1 minute and 35 seconds was, there were social games like these games. People played them, and then they went away.
Also, I prank called Club Penguin.
Also, I used to play prank call. Yeah, that's a very important. You can't forget that. So, like, he didn't even need. He could have started the video here, basically.
Yeah, I like the the intros, how you make a connection with the audience and stuff. I think that's could be pretty good, but yeah, just needs to build to something, and I guess it has, but I don't know. We'll see what
I guess
what's left to talk about here.
2024. Well, there's a new social game on the block, and it's great. It's called Webfishing, and you might have heard of it. I'm not sure if you have. Well, it takes every awesome and nostalgic element from these social games, puts an Animal Crossing-esque coat of paint over it, and it adds fishing. In fact, aside from the social aspects, fishing is the main focus of the game.
Animal Crossing has fishing.
Also, yeah, also that. But I was actually gonna just say, like, he said, in addition to the social aspects, it adds fishing, and I was like, what social aspects? Like, you just said the ones from those other games that I talked about having.
Yeah,
we don't know, like,
well,
what social aspects are in web fishing?
I don't know.
Exactly.
He didn't explain anything.
That's what social aspects do you think he's talking about? Engage in conjecture.
Well, I see that there's a chat in the corner.
That's true.
That's about it.
That's good.
You can see there's usernames above people. That's all I'm seeing so far. I haven't seen this game before this video.
That's yeah. I feel like if you haven't seen Webfishing or any of the games he discussed, then you don't know what the fuck's happening, and you're just like along for the ride. Like, what is he gonna say next? And just why would you make this video this way? I'm very confused.
Aspects. Fishing is the main focus of the game, having you collect all kinds of critters from the ocean, leveling up and selling them to some guy who lives in dirt, letting you buy more things for your fishing rod and your little character. Speaking of your character, you can choose from either a cat or a dog. It's not a furry game, I promise. The custom.
I mean, by definition.
Why does that matter?
Well, also,
It is a
yeah,
furry game.
it is definitely a furry game. I don't know what definition you have for a furry game that doesn't include web fishing. But even other, like, who cares?
It's not a furry game, I promise. The customization for these two is pretty in-depth with what you can do, so yeah, you can drip them the fuck out. There are lobbies of up to 12 people you can join, and everyone shares this little island that you can explore to your heart's content. There are a few secrets you can find, like this ghost fishing rod. It's very cool. I had to search for like bones and shit to get it. I also got an achievement for it. There are also these blue mushrooms around the map that launch you into the air, acting as a form of fast travel.
Who was the fucking person that we talked about? Oh gosh, he made a TF2 video about fucking like the Dragon's Fury or some shit. And he just kept listing things. That was like UFR like 12 or something, and like he just kept listing things. I feel
I don't know.
I feel like this is
Script 100.
I forget who it was, but like that was this is that, but it's gone on for like 2 minutes. He is just listing things.
Oh, was that fucking Shredded Nerd?
No. It was a TF2. It was a TF2 thing. I don't remember. Someone in chat will know. But it was. Oh yeah, no, it was the guy talking about the bot crisis. I forget his name. He made like one TF2 video. I don't think he was a TF2 guy. But whatever. This is that. Like he's just listing things that are in the game. There is no like explanation for why the things are good or why they work together. It is just that there is this, and there is this, and there is this, and there's also this, and you can do this with this, and that's the video.
Well, yeah, he's showing you what the game does.
Yeah, but like, if you're gonna convince someone to do something, shouldn't you do more explaining on like why? Because the video is called "You Should Be Playing Web Fishing," so like if you're gonna convince me of that, shouldn't you be explaining why the things you're saying are good?
He's still got like a minute and a half. He'll say, and these things are fun, and that's why you should play.
Okay, all right, my bad.
Give him a chance.
I'll give him a chance.
It also allows you to get to out of reach locations, so you can look really cool in a public lobby and make loads of friends because you're just cooler than everyone else, right? You can also buy chalk with the money.
What was that? That was weirdly passive. That is just a cool thing.
Oh yeah.
So you can.
Well, the point is he's in an empty lobby, so he has no friends.
Oh.
Also, which is weird because like you could join a public lobby.
Just join a lobby.
You could join any lobby. You don't have. You are choosing to be alone essentially. There's thousands of people playing this game at any given time. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? You can also buy chalk with the money you get from selling fish and draw whatever you want, letting your inner artist show. Not for me though. I mean, I tried my best. Please don't be mean. Playing web fishing just feels great. It's such a good way to wind down and have a nice.
Playing web fishing really makes you feel like you're a fisherman.
It really makes you feel.
It really
like
makes
you're
you feel.
a cat fishing for fish in the water.
This script 100. We're just gonna press on.
Little natter with some people whilst fishing. I've had moments where I've just opened this game up after a long day and sat fishing whilst watching a show on my other monitor. It's genuinely such a good time. It's so relaxing. Now, if you aren't feeling too social, you're actually able to play solo or create a private lobby that only your friends can join. There's just nothing like it currently, and if you're looking for something you can easily just pick up to relax, I highly recommend it. You can also gamble. Oh yeah, this is gonna be it this time, fellas. We're gonna get loads of money. Oh, fuck.
I feel like this may have been an excuse to ramble about nostalgic old games for a second and then say, oh, also, there's this new one that's kind of cool. Bye.
I would like to let everyone know the first minute and 30 of this video. I forgot that the last 30 seconds is an outro. So, the like almost half the video was not about web fishing, and like this is the guy we're covering today, chat. That is when I watched this video for the first time. When I watched this video for the first time while watching other web fishing videos in preparation to make my own web fishing video, because I wanted to see what the general consensus was. And I watched this video and I just came away from it feeling like depressed. Not because like, why should, what did you say? Like, why do what did you accomplish in making the video?
The only thing it really does is reaffirm to people that have already played it that it is a good game. It doesn't say anything new.
I think the goal I think is to, you should be playing web fishing. It's like to advertise the game to more people, but you didn't talk about the social part of it where you talk to people, which was what the first half of the video kind of set up the point of the game to be. I mean,
Yeah,
didn't even there was
it didn't say
no
anything.
mention of that. There was like more
Complimented that
time
one guy's
to the
shirt.
Easter eggs in the game, which sound okay. I mean, at one point he flashed up the achievement, and it looked like 40% of people had gotten it, which most people who like buy a game on Steam don't even fucking open it if you judge it from like most other achievements for these games and stuff.
So they mentioned that there were public lobbies and private lobbies. They didn't say anything about what the features were aside from that. I saw from the footage that there was like a text chat, but I didn't see anything else in the features of the game itself. So my takeaway from this is that the only social feature is that you can talk via text with people.
I just needed to like, have you ever like this is like going to a burger place that you think is going to be like mid and then it turns out to be even worse than mid and you were like you're just disappointed. That's what this felt like. Like, why did you just list things for the entire last third and then you said there's nothing like it? It's like it's unique, it's one of a kind, because you didn't do any of those words justice. You just kind of said things and didn't think about why you said them, didn't try to substantiate them in any way. You just stated them, and if this is a great video for someone who already thinks web fishing is good, because then they get to walk away and they're just like, yeah, web fishing does have all of those things.
This is like someone writing a paper for school, and then they just kind of gave up and forgot about it and turned it in.
They were like, it has to be at least 3 pages long, and they wrote like half a page, and they were like, fuck it. I just like, and like this last 30 seconds is the fucking works cited page. Like I just don't get it.
The video convinced me that I should go play Animal Crossing because it has Easter eggs, it has fishing, and it also has
content.
It has
I don't know what the difference is here. Why should I just play this Animal Crossing I got?
Could
I
you?
don't like the crafting system. I guess I would play New Leaf. I guess.
I also don't like the New Horizons crafting system.
Yeah.
Do you, like if you like made a video like you should be playing Team Fortress 2 right now, and then he starts the first minute and he says, Quake, Halo, PC gaming, and then he's like Half-Life, Team Fortress Classic, and he's like, okay,
we've all seen those Gmod edits.
Yeah, and he's like, and everyone knows that one time where the Heavy said Putis. So then I was like, I have to play the game, and then he's like, well, this game has 9 classes, and then he lists all 9 classes, and then he says, and it has maps, and
Don't forget guns.
and the soldier can rocket jump, and then it's really
that one map you can climb in the vent.
He just lists a bunch of
rave room.
Yep.
Random
Nothing
features.
like it.
And that would be great to play if there weren't bots in the game, haha, and then like he gets shot in the head by a sniper who's definitely not a bot and he just dies. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's just one of a kind. There's nothing like it, and that's the end of the video.
No, you forgot the part where the sniper bot does the laugh taunt and they put like a funny audio effect on it.
I yeah, I needed everyone to like know that this is what we're going to be watching for the next 9 minutes. So we
Oh no.
well, not for actually for longer. We're gonna be watching 9 minutes of it, but we're gonna be talking about it for longer, I imagine, because this video was just about how some really good game is really good. The next video is gonna actually try and make an argument about game graphics and game graphics.
So in his defense with this one, like this one we just watched, it's not terrible. If I think what he set out to do is just like it's like you're hanging out with a friend and he's telling you about this game that he thinks is cool, right? And like, oh yeah, it reminds me of this. That's the kind of vibe I get from this. It's not really making too much of an argument. So it's not like egregious.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong, it could be better. It could be more convincing. He could like make more of an argument, but
I agree that it
I
doesn't
don't really think that's what he set out to do either.
It doesn't take a very big swing. I just also think that like even within the scope of the video, there wasn't anything that was done with it. So like I don't know how to feel about what I just watched. Like I felt like I had just blacked out for 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Also, please excuse me while I get this this other video.
You're excused.
Hmm.
You're not excused, actually. This is you should have this fucking prepped. Okay.
If you were to think of, if you were,
so with that in mind, right? After I was originally going to cover that video for the UFR, right? I was just gonna talk about that video by itself. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, that was really bad. We should just not talk about that video. I just don't want to even bother. But then I went to his channel and I just scrolled a little bit and I saw this video titled "Graphical Fidelity is Ruining Games." And we're going to watch it. But before we do, what do you think the argument will be? Because I'm curious. What do you guys think it's going to... What do you think is going to be said?
The games they have too many graphics, and it takes away development time, and they don't spend it on making the game fun.
Yep. That's kind of what I was
like
guessing
that
as well.
And then they don't optimize games either. They're probably going to throw something in there that developers don't take the time to make gameplay fun or optimize the game. So now there's DLSS and upscaling and all that crap that nobody likes.
What do you
or at
mean
least
make
I don't
them
like it.
mountains?
I'm going to
Make
complain
them-
about it forever.
Why make fucking LODs on shit when you could just like expect the player to buy a graphics card with like 4 times the VRAM, you know?
Exactly. Just run the game at 540p and turn on NVIDIA hyper shit mega fart mode.
Hyper shit mega fart.
I'm like predisposed to agreeing with this point too, so we'll see where this goes.
I think I am also probably... I don't know if I would say graphical fidelity is ruining games, period. I think I would just say that like it is becoming too much of a focus in AAA development, but I think that's
that's kind of what I'm assuming his argument is.
And if so, I probably will also be inclined to agree with him, but we'll see, you know.
Because if he somehow tries to apply that statement to like indie, I have no fucking clue how he's gonna justify that.
Yeah.
Cat has the all games look the same lockdown as well. That's a point that'll probably come up.
I have seen the first like half of this video before I was like, oh, we have to cover it. So I know that he says some things. Just things. He says things in this video. So I'm just excited. But yeah, no, I think that before we like really talk about it, I guess the graphical fidelity for me is not like that big of a deal if the game is good. And if the game isn't good, I don't think I would lay that at the hands of, oh, the game, all this time was put into the graphics. Like, I think there's a very select few games where that is the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. There's yeah, because it's like, I mean, there are a lot of games that like look really good and play really bad. You know, there's like the Order 18 whatever shit like that, but it's like those come down to like decisions that they made and stuff. It's not like, oh, and it's just not how like these companies work. I'm from this assumed argument that I don't know if it's going to be in the video or whatever, but this You know, it's not like these game designers are fucking 3D modeling. Instead, they're modeling grass blades instead of doing their game design job. Like, that's just not how games work. And I feel like that's an argument that a lot of people run into.
Yeah. I think that
Who knows?
I think that like there are also like a ton of games, maybe even the majority of games that have really really high-end graphics are like good to amazing. So because like if you put oftentimes like AAA titles aren't very common relative to how how fast game studios were pushing out games like in up till like the mid 2010s. AAA games aren't coming out nearly as frequently now as they used to be. And I think that the byproduct of that is that when a game is bad on release, it's really bad and really noticeable. But I don't think that, and I think that like the blame often gets levied at different things, and graphics is often one of them. But there are also like really, really high end, like even like AA games that are really, really good and also have really good graphics, or AAA games that have really good graphics, like Guardians of the Galaxy, or Elden Ring, or the God of War games, the God of War reboot games. So like I'm interested to see where this will go.
Yeah.
I just wish games were released finished.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's a graphics problem. Sometimes the
I know.
graphics are also broken.
You just reminded me.
Yeah,
That's
also
sort of. I can see arguments both ways. Like I feel like when it's like months and a single player game doesn't work right, like that's bad, obviously. But if it's like a big update or whatever and they release that's generally okay for me at least. Stuff.
Yeah. People in chat are also bringing up like I think that I think that games with an art style are better. Are usually artistically better, or have better arts. But let me start over. Games that have a stylized art style are almost always better than games that go for a hyper realistic art style.
Yep.
So I think that is also something that you could go for, but I don't know. That's not graphical fidelity as much as it's like hyper realism, which is like different, I think.
Yeah,
it's like a different approach.
Yeah. Because like Super Mario Odyssey is a really good looking game from a technical standpoint, especially considering its hardware, but it's not like it isn't like hyper realistic. You can see you can see the fucking hair strands on Mario's mustache. Actually, I was gonna say.
Yeah, they went relatively realistic there, but it's still it's still really. It also just has a lot of different styles for Odyssey in particular.
Yeah,
there's like the polygonal chef world and whatever.
Yeah. Are you guys ready to jump into video number 2 to see what Proxitist I think has to say?
Let's do it.
To think of what makes a game worth getting, what do you think of? Do you think of the gameplay, the story, hell, maybe even how long the game takes to finish? Well, would you believe me that one of the biggest selling points of modern AAA games nowadays is how good the graphics are?
Yes, I would believe that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That seems to be the case.
Yes. I concur.
This reminds I just want to say, like, this reminds me of that we watched the video, like that slew of videos about it was like me, Space Guy Zesty, and like someone else about like gaming isn't fun anymore, and one of them described like, oh, you buy a PC, you buy this high-end equipment, and then you don't know what to play on it, so you play Minecraft, and then you get bored, and you quit. It's like, I feel like when
you never touch the computer again.
and then you throw it away. No, but I think that when people do buy high-end, either gaming consoles, or when they buy high-end, gaming PCs, they're gonna want to play games that look really good on them. Just like because they like put all the money into that setup. So people caring about how good the graphics are in their games makes sense. I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
2 Fortworkers in the chat, great minds think alike. I was gonna point out how fucking sick it is that the text is behind the rock. It's a mask effect put on there. That's great. That's always
Editor of the year.
Absolutely.
I want to. Can I nip? I'm gonna nitpick it. It's not the rock. It's not a rock though. It's coming out of
it's
it's coming
something.
out of the mountainside.
Yeah,
It's
but it's coming
no,
around.
this rock is on. You can see when it moves a little more. That rock's on a different layer than the
Good
rest of
gra-
the.
You need
Oh
the
yeah, so
parallax.
my fault,
Yeah.
my fault.
Oh, I thought you were gonna reference SpongeBob and say it's a boulder.
It's not a boulder, it's a rock.
graphics are. Some people refuse to buy games if they can't see the literal sweat drops dripping off the main character's head during cutscenes. Yeah, they don't care about how fun the gameplay of the game is. No, no, no. They're too busy focusing on how realistically the eyelashes are rendered on the main character.
Who are these people?
Anyone who cares about this
That's-
shit is crazy.
Yeah, if this is what you mean, I don't know anyone like this personally. I've never met this person.
Like the closest I've gotten to this is with Red Dead 2, just because that game is like, it has gameplay issues, but the world is just beautiful, you know?
I don't understand the one. I have to agree so far. Honestly, I feel like the thing where you can the thing that gets me the most is pores. When you can see every like microscopic hole on their face, and just
I can't even see my own pores.
Yeah, but you can see their on like fucking on these people in these games. Sometimes you can see their pores, and it freaks me out. I don't like it.
The whole phobia. What is that? Trypophobia?
Yeah.
Yep, that's
It's a little bit of. I don't think I have that or whatever, but it's it's disturbing.
Yeah.
I know the person, for the record, because OCAP is in chat is saying this was made by a big Twitter account, and like I'm not denying that. I'm saying like who are the people who care about this enough to like, if this game isn't like this is what makes or breaks the game for them. That's my question. People who care about this generally, like how high quality the graphics are in the game, fine. I don't take issue with that. I care about it to some extent, right? But like if you're like looking at the individual hairs in this person's in Kratos's eyebrow, and you're like, it's not it's not up to snuff.
That ain't it.
That's
like,
not.
I want a game to look good generally, but like if a character has pores, I don't give a shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to obsess over that.
I find it interesting though in this picture, like look how rough Kratos' skin is compared to everybody else's.
He's grizzled and old.
Like but he's like, it looks like his face looks like the wall of the Grand Canyon. Like it doesn't look like skin.
But they put a gravel texture over him. That's okay.
And realistically, who's gonna get up that close to notice anyway?
I mean, yeah, they definitely like open the camera mode in all of these games.
Yeah.
Probably, which is fine.
I feel like,
and this kind of shit is probably why these games cost more now.
That's also true. But like,
I feel like the face technology. Oh, sorry, you go.
No, you go. Sorry.
Okay, I feel like the face technology peaked with Half-Life 2, and that's maybe that's just because I've been playing a lot of it lately.
Hell
but
yeah!
It's they're just they're nice to look at, the characters in that. They're low quality enough that they don't really quite look like real people in the way that it'll like bother my like uncanny valley or whatever. So they just look nice, and they're animated well and stuff, and I think that's really the more important thing is, if their face looks nice and whatever, they're not moving around like a Skyrim guy or whatever.
Yeah.
The animations in Half-Life 2 are just spectacular.
They're second to none to this
yeah.
day somehow, which is, I don't know how they do it. But yeah.
Well, also, like, there are a lot of games that have really, really good animations, because even if they're, even if the rigging is on, really low poly models, the actual, like, movements are still modeled after humans in a way where you can still feel the humanity in the models and the way that they're done, or the animations in the way that they're done. I just want to point out the Hellblade 2 one, that is that the eye part of that eye looks like strikingly good to me. And not to become the thing we swore to destroy, but like that the eye looks so good. Like I was actually trying to compare the four of them to like actually answer the question that the tweet is asking. The eye in the top right just looks really, really good.
How do you even get that close?
That I assume it's
like a real eye.
I know, right? Like it's so on point.
I saw an explanation of that once, of how they did it, and it was applied to the bulb orb in Pikmin 3, in like a Pikmin video I watched once by a channel called Scruffy, which is fantastic. But yeah,
that's really cool.
It's some sort of thing. They like render like the all the different parts of the eye and stuff, and it's like so the light reflects off of them properly and stuff, and that's sort of how they get that effect.
Also, Yuki in chat mentioned that canonically Kratos has his wife and daughter's ashes permanently stuck to his face. If that's true, that makes everything make more sense. Also, it's kind of hardcore as fuck.
That's neat, yeah. That's from that's like the old game lore, right?
I think so.
I guess that's still true because those are just sequels in the new ones, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a soft reboot sequel thing.
Okay, yeah.
I really like the new God of War games from a story perspective.
I hear people say they're boring and they're just sort of Last of Us, but I don't know.
I think they're neat.
Eyelashes are rendered on the main character's eyes. Yes, this is a real tweet, and it's one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, because I genuinely think this need for graphical fidelity is ruining games. Now, I'm not disregarding graphics at all. In fact, I do think graphics are important, because, I mean, without them, we wouldn't actually be seeing anything at all while playing the game.
Okay, so so our definition for graphics is just anything that's happening on screen. That's good.
Okay.
Glad
so my command line on Linux, does that count as graphics?
Yes.
That's a graphical user interface.
Are you looking at it?
So my text-based adventure game, that counts as graphics?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You had to choose the
People
font.
say it's very good. But yeah.
There's a game, right? You're not just randomly hitting buttons.
While playing the game. And when a lot of effort has been put into them to make them as visually appealing as possible, it is a genuine treat for your eyes while you're playing. I can't deny that. The problem lies...
Okay, so we've established that good graphics are good when the game is good. That's good. So like when the game is good like in hyper-realistic graphics are fine. Or like the graphics, graphical fidelity is fine.
Yeah, and I would agree with them.
Yeah. Which I'm interested to see how he's going to make... If that is true, though, I'm not interested to see how is graphical fidelity the problem.
Every game should just be Super Mario Brothers.
What's
true.
the actual title of this video?
Graphical fidelity is ruining games is the title.
Okay. See,
Official
so
title.
D-Arrow,
So
there's
he
a
lied.
plugin called D-Arrow that changes the titles to make them actually about what the video's about.
What?
What does
Someone
it say?
submitted the title as "How Graphical Fidelity is Making Gameplay Worse," which is definitely more accurate, I would probably
I
assume.
really need to enable that.
That's really, really
I fucking
funny.
love clickbait.
That's oh god. What
wonder
is
what it
that
does to-
extension called? Sorry.
I wonder what it does to
Called
my videos.
D-Arrow.
I've got sponsor block, but not that one.
Yeah, it's by the
I
same
wanna
guy,
get
actually.
that.
That's really, really cool.
Oh, it changes the thumbnails. What the?
It changes the thumbnails
hell?
too to like not fucking red circle 14 arrows.
That's
I feel like
scary.
shit like that is almost mandatory now.
Yeah, no, I
Gotta sift
can.
through all of it.
Also, use AdBlock to block all of the elements that put shorts on your home screen. So
You block Origin.
Yeah.
Did anyone catch that Alan said, get ad block 2, and then he went, so it sounded like he said he blocked 2.
block Tua.
Please go
Block 2.
go back and you'll hear what I'm here. You'll hear it. You won't be able to unhear it. How is Alan so
Zap
cool all of
element
the
on
time?
that
I
thing.
agree. Chat wants to know how you're so cool all of the time, Alan.
You know, I just have a way.
Genuine treat for your eyes while you're playing. I can't deny that. The problem...
What am I being told? People in chat are telling me to stop. What am I being told to stop doing?
That's
Probably the...
because
Tua.
the block
Tua
2,
joke.
block 2. Okay, my fault.
Yeah, banned.
I can't deny that. The problem lies in the need to make every game's graphics as realistic as humanly possible. And they keep trying to constantly push this more and more the better.
Isn't that Yakuza? Was that
Yeah.
Yakuza? Isn't that
I think
game
so.
really, really fucking good?
Yeah. It's got
This
good
game
gameplay.
is bad because it looks good. Sorry,
assume
guys.
that
It also
Yakuza.
looks, I was gonna say, it also doesn't look hyper realistic, or at least I don't think it does. It looks pretty stylized to me.
It's got the, I only play Half-Life, so this is going to be every comparison, but it looks like Half-Life Alyx, where there's they put a little bit of style on the characters and stuff, and then the world is mostly super real, I guess.
Yeah,
Oh.
I like that. I like that approach. It's kind of like like watching like Mario walk around New Donk City or run like he's like Mario proportions, and all the other people are like normal people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't call this an example of that.
Constantly push this more and more the better hardware gets. And I know consoles are getting more powerful.
That was a funny edit.
Why isn't this working? And they want to show off how the console can render skin pores at 4K. But like, the details are usually so minuscule at this point, you can only really tell the difference in terms of graphics if you were to put them side by side to a previous generation game going for the exact same fidelity. And
I think that these comparisons are kind of a moot thing, because when you watch a video that's compressed on YouTube, you're not gonna really get the same thing as if you actually saw all three consoles running next to each other.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
these comparisons are already kind of bunk. That's not really his
But, I
fault.
mean-
He might not be thinking that. I thought I would say that.
I don't think they're all bunk. It's definitely worse for different things, but like a shot like this with Kratos is not. You're not gonna lose that much information. You know.
Yeah.
Like if there's a really noisy video, lots of things changing, or like dark, then you're definitely losing stuff. But
yeah.
for the exact same fidelity, and you need to look really closely. There's a reason why a majority of PlayStation 5 games are playable on the PlayStation 4. I still have no idea why I own you. The more I think about it, the more tempted I am to just throw you in the bin. I would honestly say that this whole graphical fidelity shit peaked in the PlayStation 4 era. Developers just want to constantly one-up this, which brings up one of the big problems. Way too much time and money is being sunk into making so many stupid details. Like,
Wait, he put thing on screen.
many
he's about to talk about something.
I know, but like, can we? Do you think the details that are brought about by people having more processing power and therefore being able to render more things, do you think those are useless?
No, but you
Some
do
of them
run
are,
into
but-
diminishing returns.
Yeah.
This is absolutely in the diminishing returns territory.
I agree. I
Well, yeah, but
Neat.
I think those returns are still probably valuable at this point.
yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing, it's not a necessity at all, for the record.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's also just underutilized, or potentially underutilized. Like imagine I've come up with a fake game to explain my point. Imagine it's a combat medic simulator, and someone gets shot, and because of the hyper realistic bullet wounds, you would get the chance to see where the bullet is in the body. Like if it's poking out of the wound, you can see that, and it allows you to heal the person faster because you can see that. Whereas, you know, a few generations ago, it would have been more difficult to render that in a way that was, you know,
Good.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
with that type of game, that would make sense to have.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's always like that. I'm just saying, like, details aren't bad. Like, higher graphical fidelity isn't bad if it doesn't take away from the gameplay. It can often add to it depending on.
It doesn't have to add to it to be good either. I think
That's true.
it can
could
be
also
good
just
on
be
its
very
own merit,
yeah,
as long as it's not to the detriment of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Which there's no real reason it should be, but
Yes.
details.
Also, wait.
Like making the horse's balls in Red Dead 2 look realistic and shrink in the
That's-
cold. Yes,
that is necessary, and it sold me on the game.
Did it actually?
No, but I fucking love the details like that.
Why?
The game,
no,
you can
okay.
go into that game and just sit down and like watch people go across the street and watch the horses realistically shit in the street. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, actually, I would advocate for the balls the balls shrinking in the winter. I think I would advocate for that. This is a good thing. This is just a net positive, and it wouldn't even be that difficult to develop. Like relatively.
That feels like a mean thing to ask a developer to do.
Why?
But if
Maybe
it's
they're
their
into that.
decision, then that's okay.
Maybe that's what they
I
do
don't
in their
know.
free time anyway. You never know.
Maybe. Well, you know, it's their
If it's
idea.
something
That's
that's
okay.
done
but,
Maybe
in their
he's a
free
boss.
time and they just implement it, then that's whatever. But if this is something like, hey, shrink the balls, do it, then
yeah,
you know
It's
that's
getting-
just a waste of time.
it's
don't
getting in
know.
the same territory as like asking Last of Us developers to go watch like people get their fucking heads exploded in like real life videos and stuff, so they can make more accurate dead people in the game and whatever, you know.
Yeah. But also like if the point of the game, because like Rockstar games are kind of about creating like as immersive of a real life simulation as possible, so that the absurdity or the adrenaline of whatever you're doing is enhanced by contrast. So like things like this do matter. They might, like how much they matter to your game, like as a developer might, you know, that the mileage may vary, but stuff like this does matter in creating that sense of immersion. Because like, imagine if no one told you this and you noticed it, and then like you had like that aha moment of like, what the fuck? They actually cared enough to like make sure that this was realistic. That's like that's I think that's cool. Even as funny as it is to talk about the horse's balls, I think that is really, really cool.
And this is not like a standard that most games should even attempt to go for, but
yeah,
when it's done well, it's like, okay, yeah, this I really feel like I'm in the fucking 1800s, you know.
It almost makes me think that horses are real.
Yeah, right. Like
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Not quite.
Printer paperclip in chat said, "Sorry, Dave, you've got the horse balls responsibility." Just some
Dave's
poor,
into it.
it's just some poor
He's a
developer
Bosch
name.
fan.
Poor
God, I would not want to be the horse balls guy.
Poor guy, poor Dave. He's like, man, I went to college for this. I gotta animate a horse's balls. Only if I would only do it if I got to be credited in the credits of the game as the horse balls guy. I should get my own credits, separate from everyone else.
Put that on your resume.
Yep, Red Dead 2 horse ball guy.
My resume looks
Right at the
really
end of
funny
the
because
credits.
it's like a bunch of tech stuff, and then randomly in there it's a TF2 map.
It's like the one silly dragon with the two like serious looking dragons. That's pretty good. Anyways, yeah, the horse balls are fine to me.
King Ghidorah, by the way, those silly dragons. Put some respect on his name.
I don't know who that is.
He's from Godzilla.
I don't
He's
even know
Godzilla's
who you are.
arch nemesis.
I've never once watched a Godzilla movie.
You live there.
It
happened. You're supposed to know.
I'm supposed to know Japanese history. Is that what you're saying?
You're supposed. Yeah, Ghidorah has been there like 5 times and stuff. You know. I assume some of the craters are still there.
I honestly haven't seen them, and even if I had, I would just be like, wow, that's crazy, and then I'd move on with my life.
Damn.
Why would you want to learn about the world around you, PurpleColonel? What are you, insane?
Yeah.
That's, you know what, you're right.
I go to a historical monument and I'm like, wow, that's like stone that's been carved into an object, and then I move on with.
I eat the rock.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Eat the monument.
Shrink in the cold. Yes, this is real. This means development time takes much longer, as well as increasing the budget, making it...
I guess. I guess.
Hate this editing.
That's what is. You're tempting me to go on another rant about editing, because like, because you hate this editing, and I also hate this editing. But I was lambasted last week for saying that you should have good editing. So now I want to just curl in my corner and not say it ever again. Anyways, no, I'm fucking around. Yeah, this editing's really bad.
I think it's been okay. It's been a certain type of editing, but I think it
could be way worse.
No, it definitely could be worse. I do prefer this like marginally over just having gameplay on the screen.
I also like it over the like wavy caricature of someone with like some text moving around ever so slightly.
What?
Wavy?
I don't know.
Like
it's
PNG
like
tuber?
some
like that.
Yeah, like no, not a PNG tuber. It's like some shit that like slop videos do sometimes.
Like Sam O'Neill.
I have to find a proper example later.
Okay. Also, like, how are you gonna say like, oh yeah, the Red Dead 2 horse balls? That's really like increasing the budget. Like I don't know how you're. Maybe, but like in the most marginal way possible. I just don't feel like it's a fair.
It's not even that marginal, because horses are like one of the main modes of transportation in that game, and you're looking at the horse's ass for like probably 50% of your gameplay hours, right?
No, I'm saying like marginal as in like like the amount.
So like that's like genuinely a feature that's like okay.
Well, no,
you should put time into developing the horses to look good.
I'm talking about like how much it matters, like in terms of the budget, because he's saying like this increases the budget, and I'm like probably not even like that much. It might have the horse balls might have taken one extra total day of development time,
Like
and
a guy's day.
yeah, like I don't know if one person's day on a team of like over 100 people, I think is fine. Like I think
especially for a feature that's like front and center of a lot of the gameplay, you know.
The horse balls.
Not that I'm saying that. I should stop defending the horse balls so much. I'm gonna start getting
the horse
rumors.
Balls.
Increasing the budget, making it harder to make that money back, which in turn leads to, you guessed it, layoffs. I love the game.
The horse balls are not responsible for layoffs.
What do you mean?
I know you're like extrapolating the horse balls as like a microcosm of a greater problem. But if we're using the horse balls as an example, the horse balls and things like it are not what cause gaming layoffs. Like we are not doing this. I don't know how you could. You have to prove this. Like you can't say this just like flippantly.
The horse balls seem like more of like an animation or a programmatic thing, not like a we gotta spend 8 hours painting this detail. You know, there's no way that it costs that much time.
Like graphic, like if you're putting the horse balls and details like the horse balls under like the category of graphical fidelity, like one, that's like the people's job, and if they do those jobs, if they don't do the jobs, they get fired anyways for whatever that's worth. And secondly, like the game companies that value those things, they value them because they are putting a massive amount of budget into a single product to make it as good as possible. If you're making a game that has a realistic art style, part of making that realistic art style as good as possible is adding things like the horse balls in there. You don't have to do it for everything, but doing it for some things is probably important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the horse balls are in any way responsible for layoffs at Sony or any other company or Rockstar.
The horse balls are a waste of time, but they're not nearly as big of a waste as they think.
Like, do you think that like Cyberpunk 2077's launch was bad, but it had very little to do, I imagine, with the graphical fidelity, because the game didn't function. It didn't work.
Yeah, but I think his argument would be like, okay, it didn't work because they spent too much time worrying about graphics.
But we don't know that, and surely that's a case by case thing, right? Like,
well, and yeah.
What?
No, you're good.
No, what? No, what are you gonna say?
Nothing. I was not good.
Did you just? What was that? What was that noise?
I expired.
Oh, okay.
Industry. Okay, I am exaggerating a bit. A majority of games' budgets aren't just the graphics, but this need for these realistic graphics are probably one of the main reasons as to why games take so long to be made nowadays. Because artists are just being forced to stay in the office overnight.
Is this an argument for quantity over quality?
And do they have a source on this?
Also that. But even if they do, like, why would the fuck would you be like, no, I want more games that take less time to develop. Over
more games with less horse balls.
This
guy's got his
shit! Oh fuck! I unplugged.
Wasn't that's a meme picture with Sonic, right? Where it's I want more games by people who work less than they're paid more, or whatever. Is this a class-based argument or whatever, like a capitalism argument for why games shouldn't be detailed or something?
I don't understand. Why would you argue for quantity over quality? Why would you say no? These games that have I've dropped my microphone. Why would you? Why would you say?
I'd like to point out.
No, you go.
That we talked about the horse balls for longer than the runtime of this video.
We talked about it for probably about as long as we talked about the 4-minute Webfishing video.
Yeah.
You said don't give Epona balls. That would be
I had
horrible.
to give the warning. No.
Don't. Yeah. No. If they gave Epona balls, that would be fucking horrible. Also, I think Epona's a girl, so she shouldn't have balls anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Epona's a Lynx horse.
For children.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Lynx horse. No.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't
Also,
think
they
we
look
should.
really out of place on this like 5-polygon horse model from Ocarina of Time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't think we should say like no. We should make the games less detailed and make the graphics less good because the games are taking too long. I think that's bad. Thoughts, feelings, opinions.
You know, I'd be okay if a lot of games were like, you know, like 10% less, you know, graphically crazy or whatever if they came out faster, but I just don't think that's how that works and
I
stuff.
think
Well,
the whole damn industry needs to be restructured.
Well, I think most graphics development takes place parallel to things like programming.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I feel like if you can look at a lot of games that are very close to being released and stuff, and generally the graphics are like 99% of the way done. Like all the fucking big models are in there. All like the levels are fully detailed and stuff, and they're just like working on bugs and stuff. And that's, you know, I feel like the game wouldn't just you know, without knowing how any of this actually works, I feel like it wouldn't change the development time drastically in the modern day or anything.
Well, yeah, I feel like if you're a graphics or a graphics artist working on Red Dead 2, and you like model the horse, and then like you you rig the horse's balls to shrink and you know grow and whatever, and then like you're probably doing that while the programmer is making the code for the horse balls to like shrink in reference to the seasons. Like you guys are both probably doing that at the same time. And like I guess if neither of you were doing that, what would you be doing? Maybe something else more important, and maybe potentially that would make gaming the game release like a day earlier. But I just don't. Why? I feel like this is an argument for like less polish, and I don't like that. I think that games should be able to be as polished as they like to be.
Yeah. I don't know. It does. I do think there is a broader argument about like the, you know, people kind of asking for these like hyper detailed games that all play very similarly is kind of maybe not great. You know, maybe it would be good if there were more mid budget games, more Hi-Fi Rush or whatever. Stuff like that could be cool. And that's sort of the like Nintendo's model as of late has been sort of doing those level of games more than, you know, massive ones.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, that's like like an entirely different thing, you know, than any of that. So
yeah, I think that yeah, I agree that there should be more mid budget games. I just I think that's like different from saying like I don't think that's graphics fault, like graphical fidelity's fault. Like I don't know why we would lay that at the foot of graphical fidelity as the thing that made that happen. Anyways.
Being forced to stay in the office overnight crunching to make Kratos slay harder with his luscious lashes because people on Twitter are complaining about it. Actually, let's go back round to Twitter here. Specifically this tweet. I genuinely cannot stand that people are taking this shit so seriously. And it started an argument about graphic fidelity between PlayStation and Xbox fans. I won't get into that shit show though because they're both just coping at the fact neither of their consoles have a reason to exist anymore. But
that's true.
I agree.
I agree. No, I agree with that entirely. I wish the video were about that, but I agree with that entirely. Yes.
3 out of these 4 games share a common trend. They would much rather be films than actual games. It's a trend.
Are you guys ready? Because I'm about to fucking lose it. What do you guys think of the whole movie games criticism?
I think he's right.
I think he's fucking wrong. And I'll fight you. I'll beat your ass.
I think he has some good points and some bad points.
He hasn't
To be
made
fair,
any
I haven't
he hasn't
played
said
any of
anything yet.
these.
Alan, he hasn't said anything yet.
I don't have a real stake in this.
I'm offensive.
Fuck you. I think that when people criticize games for being quote unquote movie games, they are identifying that the game itself doesn't have very much gameplay in the traditional sense. So they're identifying that the game is consisting of less interactivity is more focused on the story than the gameplay. However, I don't think that is an argument for the game being bad, because I think that games should be allowed to be structured in a way where the game is focused on the story. I don't know why we should be dunking on those games like they should, because if you are Kratos, or that's a very different experience from if you are watching Kratos do something. Those are very different. Those aren't the same at all. One is going to give you elicit a different feeling from you.
I do feel like for a lot of these games, I don't see the point in playing them as games anymore. Honestly, when it's like when there's so many cutscenes and there's so much, you're just it's like The Last of Us. You're sitting there and stuff, and you're watching them, and all the interesting stuff happens in the cutscenes, and then you like go and shoot some guys or whatever. I just get bored of that, and I don't see why I wouldn't just watch some guy play it on YouTube or something instead.
Are you talking about The Last of Us 1 or 2?
Either of them. It's just the same fucking thing, okay?
I
I don't like any of them.
That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like a lot of the goodness of at least the first Last of Us game comes from the fact that you are Joel, and that when you play as Joel, you are able to make decisions or understand where he is going through, almost empathize with him to a degree. Because most of the game isn't cutscenes. Most of the game is like, oh, I'm walking through the forest and I'm talking, or my character is talking with this other person, and oh, they're having like an interaction, and then like, oh shit, we're transitioning very swiftly into a fight scene, and it's like, I think that just elicits a different experience. I don't know.
I think in games specifically, I think they should strive to make it so that like as much story is conveyed like as you were playing the game, like doing actual real gameplay stuff, you know. And if there's some downtime where it's like you're walking through a forest, that's okay, but you know, I just think it's more interesting if you're going through the adventure with a more, there's just more stuff happening around you as you're actually like fighting people and stuff like that.
What do you think?
I think there is a point to be made about how the game is structured and it delivers story beats. With these newer games, you know, like full 3D, crazy fidelity and whatever, with them being a lot, well, mostly narrative driven. I guess I can't words. Them being called movie games, I guess makes sense. It reminds me a lot of like stuff like Phoenix Wright, where that isn't nearly as like crazy visuals, but like it still looks good, and it's mostly text instead of like full voice acting like I assume all of these games have.
Yeah.
But it's like the same basic idea, where it's like a visual novel, it's mostly story, there's some gameplay.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same idea. Maybe people are just pissed that it's not like action-packed or whatever. I don't have like a huge stake in it because I don't know a whole lot about these newer games. I don't really look into it a lot because I'm just not interested.
I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out in 2021. That game is really, really good, and I really, really like it. And it would be described, it was the first and only game that I've played in its entirety that I think would be qualified as like one of these $70, $60 movie games, right? And I think that as having played that game and loving it, the game is much more dependent on the story, but I don't think that the interactivity of it being a video game takes a backseat because of that. Because even if if I were to watch the cutscenes for that game, I wouldn't get the same context behind why these things are happening, or why I, as the player, have chosen to do them, or the context that surrounds the world that I'm in. Because, like, being able to look around and interact with the environment during these massive set pieces and scenes makes you feel like much more a character in a movie who has autonomy but is still going through a plot, rather than you watching a character who's doing things in a set path that will never change. And I think that's something that's lost when people comment on these movie games, because I think they're just like, oh, I miss games that were just gameplay with like a minimal story. And I can empathize with that, but I if the story's really good and there's a reason why the interactivity is helpful in telling that story, I don't think it's fair to criticize the game for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's ones that I do play of those. Like I played Control, I play the Spider-Man games and whatever. But I feel like I have to be like already interested in like the setting or the, other aspects of them like quite a lot for me to even like get into them at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not gonna play Last of Us because it just doesn't seem very interesting, the story, to me at all. So
that's fair.
Stuff like that. I don't know. But like if Last of Us had like a really compelling gameplay loop and stuff that I saw, and it wasn't just sort of like third person shooting and like stealth and whatever, I think I could get into it more or something, or try it out myself. But it just doesn't. It just seems like it takes like kind of a back seat and stuff, and they become very stock. And They have very similar kind of gameplay.
Yeah, and that sounds like more of a preference thing rather than like a complaint, which is fine. I understand.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see what fucking this guy that I always forget his name. Let's see what he has to say.
Rather be films than actual games. It's a trend I've noticed with a lot of these games aiming for photorealism. Gameplay is just not the main focus. Instead, they put far more care into the graphics to enhance the cutscenes so that their pretentious, deep narrative.
Is that Sekiro?
I think
Maybe.
so.
Isn't Sekiro's like a Souls-like, right?
No, that might have been Ghost of Tsushima. They released like five big samurai games in like the same year at one point or something. So I don't know.
Interesting, because I'm pretty sure aren't both Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro, aren't they both like heavy into the gameplay?
I thought Ghost of Tsushima was closer to like I know it's not, but it's closer to like an Ubisoft or something.
They're not like
know.
a movie game though. It's not like an Uncharted style like The Last of Us. Like a lot of like gameplay kind of acting out movie scenes. Like it's not really that, right? It's very gameplay heavy.
I couldn't tell you. I can try messaging a friend who I know really likes it. And ask them what they think.
Let's just yell in chat. Chat. Which game is it? And also, what kind of game is it? Tell us in the chat. I won't do anything, but I'd like to know.
So that their pretentious, deep narratives trying to send a message are taken more seriously, or some shit.
That's just The Last of Us 2 being bad, rather than like the pretentious, deep narrative that's just like The Last of Us 2. That's not like a problem with the gaming industry.
Yeah, that Last of Us feels like it's hard not to get caught up in the whole thing where it feels like there's the one writer who just really wants to be making a TV show or something instead.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I mean, I
don't know, and
I haven't played either. So
yeah.
They want to be treated like blockbuster films rather than just being, fucking fun. Like a game! Wow! Who would have guessed? Fun is immature. Grr, I'm Neil Druckmann. Grr. It's also probably a reason as to why.
Once again, that's literally just The Last of Us 2.
He hasn't made anything else. He doesn't have a hand in anything.
Yeah.
Anything else in your life,
like your parents' divorce. Like, Neil Druckmann, not again. Like,
Neil.
Like
he's coming into my room.
Also, like
fucking sitting here and telling me to not play fucking Croc or whatever.
Fucking Glover, like, no, don't you dare touch that fucking joystick.
No, there's no fucking sad. No one cries in Glover. You can't.
Like who. Also, like, why? I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, but games don't have to be fun to be good. Like, and I don't mean like they're supposed to be engaging. I understand that, but like a game can make you sad. A game could be like fucking depressing, like and it would be really really good.
Yeah.
So like why
people play fucking Dark Souls. I don't know if the operative word would be fun.
Yeah,
like when you're getting
on, like,
over 20. 90th fucking try on one of these bosses or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, like games don't have to fucking be fun. Like this guy, the quote he might be referencing is just in reference to Neil Druckmann talking about how people don't like The Last of Us because it's too challenging and edgy or something. But like that's not people didn't like it because it was bad. Like this is a really weird point to make to me.
It's a bad idea in your game to kill off the character that everyone liked and then just have everyone be miserable the whole time and
Yes.
stuff. I don't know. People are gonna feel miserable about it, even if that's your intention and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. They're gonna
It's
release a fucking remake of that, and it's gonna sweep all the awards at the Game Awards again. I'm sure.
I can't wait.
It'll
I'm
be
sure
funny.
it'll be great.
Yeah.
Also probably a reason as to why game file sizes are getting ridiculously big
God.
now. All of these uncompressed realistic 4K textures is clogging up the files. It's just ridiculous.
That's fair. But like also, why did you buy the? Like I just, if when you get the graphics as are for all games are going, the file sizes for all games are proportionally going up as the games become more. Like, as technology grows, because storage devices are also growing proportionally.
Mm-hmm. You know, they sold the Switch with like 32 gigabytes onboard memory.
Yes, which is funny.
The highest
Yeah.
you can get is 64.
Hey.
Oh, with the OLED ones, that's good.
Yep.
That should be
It's still
funny.
not great.
That seems
but
very
it's
silly.
better.
But yeah. I mean, I buy all the games physical, so I don't have to deal with
Yeah,
that. But
me too.
yeah, I have a fucking. I mean, you can just get a little SD card or whatever, and yeah. But that is very silly. Even in like 2017 when that came out.
It's just ridiculous. If any of you have any of the modern Call of Duty games installed, God rest your hard drive. It's trying its absolute best. Speaking of big files.
Oh, I forgot to pause it. But yeah, Call of Duty is a special case because they're packaging like 4 fucking games, like half of the assets for like Warzone and all this shit. Like no matter what you download, they got so much bullshit in there, so they're always gonna be way higher than like a regular game anyway.
Yeah, people in chat were just talking about how that's like more of a COD exclusive problem.
Yeah.
Trying its absolute
Zombies is
best.
good, though.
Speaking of big file sizes, Red Dead Redemption 2 was so big, it required 2 fucking discs just to install the game onto consoles. 2 fucking discs. Speaking of Red Dead 2,
Jesus.
That used
With
to
it
be
being
normal,
like
though,
100
right?
gigs, that makes sense, because I think
Yeah.
a Blu-ray only holds like 50.
Yeah.
He's
I
coming
bet-
after
gotta
Red
double
Dead. I don't
check.
like him. I don't like
Yeah,
him.
you've
Didn't you have
awoken
to, like-
Alan. Alan really likes Red Dead too.
In the 2000s, like mid-game or whatever, you'd have to swap out like Final Fantasy VII, right? That shit
Yeah.
came on like 5 discs. or
Yeah, no, that's a
something.
good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
I fucking hate
Yeah,
swapping.
this
Let-
isn't new.
Legend of Dragoon was like 4 discs on PlayStation 1.
Also,
See,
you
he's
can
asking for
install
a
that
return
shit.
to the old ways. That's what he's getting, and he's
Yeah,
upset about it
return-
anyway.
Yeah.
What the hell?
You guys remember bonus sticks? Bonus sticks.
Oh, whoa, that is some Freudian.
You guys remember?
Can we get that in Kernel of Carnage?
No. You guys remember the bonus discs in like Blu-ray or like old like Disney movies? Like you get them on DVD and they'd have like bonus discs.
Yeah.
They'd have like
That's
I
the.
still do that.
I used
I bought
to.
a copy of Halloween, and it's got bonus discs and stuff with all the bullshit on them.
I used to fall asleep listening to listening and watching the Finding Nemo commentary, where they went into detail. They talked over the movie and they went into detail about like how like the fish were animated and shit. And that shit was crack to me as like a 6-year-old.
God, that's so cool.
It was I should like find more of those and just like load up all of them.
Those are fun. I mean, most movies you buy on like 4K or Blu-ray or whatever, they're gonna, usually come with a commentary track.
Yeah, and that's
You
awesome
can
that they
get
sold it.
like Terminator 3 has one where Arnold's just talking about how it was such an important detail that they have the robot get bigger boobs halfway through the movie or
It's
whatever.
just like the horse
you know?
balls. It's just like the horse balls. You need that there.
Exactly.
You need that. That's
It
what,
was important.
there's so many little
not the
details
same
and things,
about
and you'll never know them if you don't listen to the commentary.
Some
It's a
some of
shame
the details
that-
are big.
Some details
Koth
are big.
Krampus.
That's true.
Koth Krampus used to reuse a statue from Half-Life 2 that had a horse with balls on it.
Yes.
It's a shame that was cut.
Yes.
It still has the balls on it in the finished game. You just don't see the statue very up close. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Half-Life 2 still has the statue.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to make.
Where does it not?
I'm gonna have to make the next UFR highlight the horseball saga.
Absolutely.
Just super cut all of the discussions about horseballs throughout this fucking video.
Mm-hmm.
I think that game has started another problem with graphics and details in games, because the amount of detail in...
What was the value in putting the word because on screen in that way?
Because
nothing had come up on the screen in like 2 seconds or so. You gotta have a big flashy color on the screen.
Like I feel like it would have
bright green.
It would have been acceptable if they had like used it to transition the clip, like used it at like I've put the word however like, and I've used it to like slide the video down.
Yeah.
But like if you just fucking put the word because on screen and just cut the clip anyways. Like why?
Two Forts workers brought it up earlier, but that green text is extremely ugly. I think they only use it to like catch your attention.
It's his aesthetic. Also, shout out to Two Forts workers.
Font. But yeah, it's really no good.
Another problem with graphics and details in games, because the amount of detail in Red Dead Redemption 2 is insane. The game took almost a
That was good.
TF2 spotted. TF2 spotted. Chat. Pog.
The game took almost a decade to make, and that's for a reason, because Rockstar...
You can't, no, okay, we gotta set the record straight.
They made a game between there, right? You know?
Yeah, Red Dead 2 did not take a decade to make, because the previous game came out this time, and the next game in the series came out this time. By this logic, Kingdom Hearts 3 took 14 years to make, which is not fucking true. Like that's not how game development works. So no.
That's for a reason, because Rockstar put so much time crunching to add so many little details that while they are incredibly immersive, in the end are just ultimately pointless. And it's probably one of the reasons why it's 100.
Okay, you guys know who Norman Rockwell is?
He's that painter guy.
Ultimately pointless.
He painted the guy who stands up in the
Yes.
courtroom or whatever and says, "I disagree."
Yeah. Or do you know who
I don't know
Norman
why he
Rockwell is?
added all of that fucking detail. It should just be a stick guy with like a hand.
Yes, thank you, Alan. I alley-ooped you and you dunked it. Why the fuck? Why should we add detail to anything? We should have polygons, and the polygons should move and do things, and they should function, and there should be nothing else.
Everything should look like
was
Mario
the peak.
64.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be okay with that. I like Mario.
Mario 64 has too much
yeah, like the tree, like when you bump into trees in Mario 64, leaves come off of them. They could have scratched scratched the time off their any % time if they hadn't added that shit.
I think every single game should let you climb trees, and when you jump into them, the character has to go, "Whoa!"
That was really good. That was a good impression.
Should be mandated.
Yeah.
Man,
Metroid Prime 4 took 18 years. True. They've been working on it actively the whole time, I'm sure. Retro hasn't been doing anything else, you know? They haven't been doing that much, I guess, in 18 years, but yeah.
I hate this. They could have cut they could have cut like 11 stars out of the development time. They could have cut all the bonus stars out of Super Mario 64 because those are all just details. We don't need them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how important does it
everything?
How important does a detail, quote unquote, need to be before it's like not a detail anymore? It's just a part of the game. Because you
need 2 stars in the Princess's Secret Slide.
Yeah, you didn't need the time trial one. You can cut that out. That's not. You didn't even need the clock, really. Like that took at least 5 minutes of development time to make a clock. You didn't need to put that in.
You don't need any of the
railings. They should get rid of TikTok clock. Actually, fuck that fucking level.
Like in TF2, you know how like different characters will like interact, will like say voice lines when they do things, and like how that adds to their character. You really don't need that. Like we could just take that out.
Also, the star doors, get rid of them.
Yeah, well, that's clearly not. That's not a detail. No, what the detail would be.
Get rid of the doors.
Just
go right to the end.
Yeah. No, just like replace the doors with just like a block, and then the block gets removed at some time in the future. This is such a stupid
Mario
thing.
Kart 7's barely a game, chat, okay? Or not, well, it's barely a retro game. They worked on like one level for that, okay?
We need to remove
that. I think they just got like a bunch of scrap projects between those or something, and that's what took most of that time.
I agree with Oren Lane in chat. We need to return to text-based adventures.
Dude, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, we need to. This is what we need to do. When does a detail become pointless, and when does it not? That's what I need to know.
No, when this guy says.
Also, that's me on the right here in the shot.
Ultimately pointless, and it's probably one of the reasons why it's 100+ gigabytes. Everything, and I mean everything, has an animation in this game. And
oh, God forbid.
Oh, the couple of kilobytes in animation takes.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine they had to like do work and rig that shit? And I hate work. Man, I hate like admiring the work of people and artists who do things. That fucking sucks. Am I right, guys?
They probably mocap like half of this anyway, I bet.
Who doesn't have
animations are
100 gigabytes
tiny
of space now?
Like, you know how like in TF2 and Payload they like animate the bomb falling into the thing and exploding, so like you know why you actually did the whole payload and like sets up this whole story. Why did they do that? Yeah, what the fuck? Why someone spent time animating that? Like just
as soon as it hits the point, just fucking black the screen, white text, you won.
That's what that's basically what Overwatch does.
No, take the victory trophy thing from Big Rigs.
Congratulations.
Your winner.
Your winner.
Oh no, congratulations to the other game. Fuck. I love congratulations.
Yeah.
This is just
congratulations.
It's
like
it's
Ghostbusters NES or something.
No, it might be Ghostbusters NES. I thought it was the Asteroids clone. That's what the one same game that has like all your base belong to us.
I think it's from Ghostbusters. Yeah, I remember.
Printer Paperclip.
You have
has
completed a great game and proved the justice of our culture. Now go and rest our heroes.
It's so crazy how nobody cared back then.
No one fucking gave a shit.
It's you know, if you're making an NES game to tie in with fucking Ghostbusters, you probably don't even care. You don't know this movie's gonna be shit, you know. In the 80s, so whatever.
Someone a Printer Paperclip had another banger and said, so the next Red Dead should be made in Roblox. And you know,
why not?
Why not? Honestly, just have it be like, oh, I go to point A, I go to point B, I get thing, I shoot person. That's the game. There's no style. There's nothing to it. Why are we saying games should be worse? Like that's what we're going with. Games should be less polished. I'm upset.
I think we should get rid of games.
I get the view is that this guy has is that it's trade off and that the graphic part just isn't really worth it compared to I don't know making a new level or a new island or something or.
But like, when is it worth it? Like where in Red Dead 2 does this make the game worse? I just want where.
At some point, this guy will probably say something like, "Oh, you know what? Xbox 360 was good enough," and then we'll know.
He said they peaked on PS4
like that.
He said it's.
I want this guy to cite
mm-hmm.
a single source for where the file size comes from, because everything that I've seen in actually looking at game assets, animations and models are like super tiny compared to texture data.
He did say
and all of this
at one
extra
point,
stuff has been like animations
and like programming.
Exactly. That shit's minuscule.
You mentioned textures for a second when he was talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah, and that's a fair
I
point.
imagine that's like the bulk of it, though. You know.
I mean, everything has an animation in this game, and everything reacts to the player. Like skinning animals, you can see the animal's flesh being cut into and torn off. Someone modeled and animated all of this shit. Oh, and of course
That's a good thing!
Is that a waste?
Why are we demonizing hard work? I don't get it. What are we doing?
It's part of the game!
That's like one of the things you do.
That's like something you do like more than most of the other things you do in the game, right? That's like one of the, you know?
Like, like, oh, no, he should have hit X, and then the animal should have disappeared. And then he should have gotten the thing. Like I
little pop-up comes up like RuneScape or whatever, where it tells you what you got, what your loot is for this deer.
I don't understand. It would be like weird if this were in like Breath of the Wild, you know, because Breath of the Wild is a less grounded, more cartoony experience generally.
Yeah.
But like this is fine.
And
We don't need to
Red Dead-
demonize hard work on the animators' part for this.
You should
I just
walk
want
up
one of
to
these
the deer
people to
carcass.
actually check why the file size is so big before complaining about it.
Mm-hmm. You should just walk up to the carcass, hit a button, and then it disappears, and you have the thing in your inventory.
Yeah, that would just be so much more efficient. Why
Why
even...
make the game more immersive?
Yeah, no. This is frustrating.
Did all of this shit. Oh, and of course we can't forget looting, which requires you to open up drawers fully, or the fact you have to reach down and physically search a body of a person you've just killed to see if they have any schmeckles on them.
Okay. Like, that's what you would do.
Is he complaining about basic game mechanics now?
No, well, you know, he's complaining that there's an animation for you to look down at the thing.
I think you went into Red Dead with the wrong mentality. You can't be like trying to rush to the end of that game. You have to be like, okay, I am Arthur Morgan, you know?
Yeah.
Today I'm going to skin this fucking deer and kill these guys and then loot their body and get on the train and go to bed, you know?
I think it can be annoying in some of these games if it's like, you know, if you're doing the same like canned animation 9 billion times, but it's sort of, you know, for what you're talking about for Red Dead, that sounds like it's sort of, you know, it's supposed to be very immersive and stuff, and so if that's the goal, then yeah.
Like, this is a valid criticism of the game, especially if you play it for long enough, is like, yeah, okay, you have seen Arthur Morgan bend down and get shit like 100 times. But
I mean, that's not his point.
To bring that into the argument of, like, development time was wasted on that? I don't think so. I think they could have added an option that's like, okay, I've seen this enough. I want to play the game. I don't want to be Arthur Morgan anymore, you know?
Well, this also doesn't even...
add a setting.
This doesn't even take that long. Like this.
Well, no, it doesn't take that long, but when you have to loot 20 bodies in a row, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I suppose. I like, why would
but
you?
That can be solved other ways. That doesn't mean you get rid of the animation. It means you set up a campfire and you say, okay, when I sleep here, I'm gonna loot all the people before I go to bed, and it just does it for you.
Or you could just argue. Or you could even argue that it's important in gameplay for it to take a while because it's there's like supposed to be like a time connection. It's an opportunity cost. So like maybe you don't need these 4 revolver cartridges. Like maybe you could spare this. Like if you kill 20 people, maybe you could spare looting. You know, not all 20 of them because it takes too long.
This also like isn't new stuff, right? Like Far Cry games like 20 years ago had fucking probably close to like 15, right? But they had skinning animal animations and stuff, right?
Does this guy hate the Mortal Kombat animations where it zooms in on the person, sees and shows you like what?
Oh, I fucking hate fatalities.
Yeah, like is that also, does that count? Is that details? Do we need to throw that away too?
Probably a detail, yeah.
Like the game would be so much faster if we
without it.
Yeah, the game would be so much faster if we didn't have that.
You get to the next round sooner, so.
Yeah.
Games would be better if we could control them telepathically because I don't have to move my fingers.
That takes time. This is so sad.
Body of a person you've just killed to see if they have any schmeckles on them.
That is tragic.
That's so sad.
All these details fit the realistic graphic style perfectly. And while yeah, this is all cool and immersive for the first hour or two, it does end up becoming kinda tedious, I'm not gonna lie. Red Dead Redemption 2 has set an unrealistic standard.
What the fuck? That's the same rock! He reused the
mask,
same rock!
Yeah.
He was proud of the mask he did.
He didn't want to use this, he didn't want to... He should have just like... Well, no, he reversed the shot, so now it's coming out of the rock instead of going into the rock.
This video is reusing the same canned animation. Again.
He's saving disk space.
So it's a
He's
waste
saving
of
like
time.
2 kilobytes.
For all of this. And more games have added these stupid details in an attempt to appeal to those standards. When in reality, they're just kind of annoying. I love having to crouch down every time to pick up sticks, which are the main resources used for the arrows in Horizon Forbidden West.
But like, why? Okay,
They made that fast in that game. That's not that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was. First of all, it was like half. It was like less than. It was like maybe 0.03 seconds, or sorry, 0.3 seconds of time wasted, which is like okay, fine, whatever. Over the course of a playthrough, but like it would be weird if you just hit a button and it was gone, right? Like that would be a weird thing. Also, yes, people in chat are pointing this out multiple times. This is not graphical fidelity. This has nothing to do with graphical fidelity.
He's complaining about
That's true.
things taking too long.
Yeah.
That's a different argument.
Yeah, this is also true in BattleBit, a game that is not known for its graphics and like vintage story and shit. Like games with low graphics don't also do things like this.
Yeah, this video shouldn't have
Yeah,
editing. It's a waste of time.
That's a good point.
Ace, I agree.
I agree. This guy should be a gameplay talker. That's the derogatory term.
Forbidden West. This unrealistic standard not only negatively impacts developers, but it also negatively impacts consumers too. Because everyone is expecting Red Dead 2 levels of fidelity.
No, they're not. Who is everyone? Who the
I
fuck?
want to meet this guy.
Can you cite something?
Who is everyone? Who is? I don't.
What?
I didn't buy fucking Webfishing and expecting it to be fucking Red Dead
No,
Redemption.
where's the
2.
realistic skinning of animals in Webfishing?
No, that would be just like murder. Just be skinning other animals.
That was a furry game, my bad.
Yeah, just be. Could you imagine? That new
Skin
web
the fishes. That's okay.
new Webfishing update. I get to skin my fucking friends.
Like,
Sign
do you
me
guys know
up.
Tiny Glade?
Yeah.
Like, why? It's like a thing where you build a fucking house, and it has a stylized graphics, and you know what? I think it's really missing. What was really disappointing to me was the lack of being able to skin the fucking sheep and have like realistic graphics.
Like, why can't you breed them and then watch them fuck in like a hyper realistic way?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's really what I'm missing.
Webfishing, dude.
Why don't their balls shriek in the winter?
Exactly.
This is such a who the fuck who says this?
Everyone.
I do.
You
This
want
is my
said
video.
everyone.
This is my alt account.
No, you make better videos than this.
Who did you hire to get the
Oh, that's not
voiceover?
true.
This is just how this is just his normal voice. He just does the Kermit the Frog thing like for us.
Yeah, I'm doing the Kermit the Frog thing right now. This is the fake one. I'm really Proxidus.
Damn.
Damn. Purple is a companion color to green.
That's why the Green Goblin's green and purple.
Oh.
2 levels of fidelity in every AAA game at this point. There are people.
You showed Pokemon.
What the fuck?
Go back. You showed Look at
Like-
this. You showed Activision Blizzard isn't a game. You showed Final Fantasy, which doesn't count. Resident Evil,
These are
which
just
is
fucking
not.
Google results. What did he Google?
Game at this point. There are
He showed.
Games with
What?
graphics.
Yeah, Pokemon
What did he
Resident.
Google?
Evil,
Pokemon what?
Which even Pokemon is that?
Why
Is
is he
that
like a
Pokemon
sailor?
Company?
He's like a naval officer or something. What the fuck?
Pokemon C. It's the Pokemon Cruise line they're about to announce.
Screenshotted Google
Oh.
search.
This is a leak.
What did
game
he Google?
at this
Works cited
point.
google.com/search.
What is that?
What is that top one? Yeah. Oh, that's Grand Theft Auto
That's Grand
something.
Theft Auto.
Because Pokemon is
4,
famously
5.
known for graphical fidelity.
That's what I'm saying. What the
Yeah,
fuck does this
Pokemon
mean?
games fucking. That's been the big complaint is there's not enough. So.
Yeah. That's
Pokemon
the
looks
that's
like
the Twitter
raw
account
ass.
apparently, according to people in chat.
Oh. Weird.
No, they did not hire SFM animators to work on the horse balls.
point. There are people out there that refuse.
This guy just looked up game and graphics.
That's true.
On
You
Twitter.
can see from the highlights.
Yeah.
That's fun.
This guy has graphics in his name, and he said the word
Mhm.
games.
To buy anything that doesn't have realistic graphics. And if they see anything that is even slightly stylized, they claim that it looks bad and ugly.
Who the fuck? Who? This person thinks Doom
found
2016. This person said Doom 2016 looks better, and Doom 2016 is also stylized.
You know, that's also just not
And
true.
all three of these people are saying that Doom 2016 just looks better, and it's also a stylized game.
Mm.
And don't even give the game a chance.
Look, the one thing said too cartoonish. The one message there that scrolled.
Well, no, compared to Doom.
But
Give the
yeah.
Compared to
Doom 2016 is slightly less. Well, you know what it is. These aren't even people complaining about like the graphical fidelity. This is them complaining about like, oh, the bottles are like little bottles like in the old games and whatever. Like that's what they take issue with, is that it's colorful and stuff. It's like a completely different like argument and issue that people took with it.
Yeah, they're not thinking like, man, why is it just hyper realistic?
Yeah.
Like, no Doom game that I've seen is hyper realistic. I could be wrong. Could be missing something.
Game a chance. If you want proof of this, look no further than the best game ever made, Prey 2017. The developers of Prey are
never
just
played.
a mid-game, actually.
I've never. Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh fuck! Listen, I felt vitriol in that statement.
I played it because everyone recommended it to me after the System Shock remake, and I was like, oh, it's just System Shock, but like kind of shitty. Damn. And it was probably better when there wasn't the System Shock remake to compare to, you know. But now it feels kind of mid, honestly. There's like some cool ideas and stuff, but also every enemy is a black blob and stuff. You know, it's whatever. It's not bad, but you know, it wants you to like get into using the glue gun, and I didn't care for the glue gun, so. The glue gun
is the glue made from horses?
No, it is made from their balls, but I don't know.
Glue is
Prey 2017.
Glue is stored in the balls.
That's what the white stuff is.
Oh shit.
Prey 2017. The developers of Prey, Arcane Austin, may they rest in peace, have an incredibly unique...
That's not an Arcane Austin game, by the way. That's made by, like, Arcane Leon. I'm pretty sure that's Arcane Leon made, the French
misinformation? In my video?
Look, I'm gonna get it. Prey 2017. I'm gonna find this, okay? Arcane Studios, which I believe is, yeah, that's the French one.
Holy shit.
Just wrong. Just wrong.
Lies, deceit.
Wait, no, Studios might be both of them, actually.
Mislead us in this piece.
Yeah.
In peace, have an incredibly unique art style for all their games, where all of the characters look ugly as fuck, but deliberate.
Oh, no lies, no deceit.
Right. Oh no. It doesn't feel like an Arcane Austin. It feels like, because Arcane Austin is usually less experimental, but Prey is relatively experimental, so.
Interesting.
I don't know.
The characters look ugly as fuck, but deliberately. For example, in Dishonored, every single one of the characters are covered in imperfections in the best way possible. The texture work alongside these models, accompanied by the environment also having the same art style, make them look like they're straight out of a painting. And I'm not exaggerating here.
I don't know if I wouldn't... Painting is...
I don't agree.
It doesn't look like a painting to me. It doesn't look like it looks.
Oh, that's literally a piece of concept art, I think, right there, or whatever.
No, it's not.
Or no, maybe I
missed
the edit.
It was
a concept for Half-Life 2.
Look like they're straight out of a paint.
That's just the.
You know, this game had the same art director as Half-Life 2. That's why it looks like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's Victor Antonov did all this stuff, the crazy, Eastern Europe and the buildings and the.
Also, are we gonna get back to Prey?
Stuff.
We brought Prey up and we've gone somewhere.
It's a different game by the same company. It's fine.
Okay.
Painting. And I'm not exaggerating here.
Every game has a unique art style, is where he's at right now.
Yeah. The game looks amazing. It's from 2012. It stood the test of time, man. Like I struggle to believe, looking at this, that it's from 2012. And Prey is no different, going for the exact same style, except this time in a sci-fi setting. Yet despite this, people said the game looked graphically bad, which is just downright insane.
People said, and he posted one Reddit post.
Prey is like a little bit less stylized, though.
Mm-hmm.
It leans a little closer to the realistic graphics.
Yeah, this is interesting. People in chat are just saying people have opinions. I think it's at least fine that he put an example of someone saying this thing. I just would have put more examples of people saying the thing.
Yeah, you definitely need more than one.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, Prey still looks amazing. In fact, any stylized game will almost always be graphically better than realistic.
That's an opinion.
No, okay, so I said something similar, but I said that games that go for a hyper-realistic art style are almost always worse than games who go for, like, a stylized art style. I would not describe Spider-Man as having a hyper-realistic art style.
Not really, no.
I think Spider-Man is just
Also-
less stylized than Ratchet. I was referring to games
I'm
like
pretty-
the fucking Horizon with the eyelashes and shit.
I'm pretty sure that's the PS4 Spider-Man compared to the PS5 Ratchet and Clank, which doesn't seem entirely fair.
Even so, I'd probably still say the one on the not like graphically, right? Because I can't tell based on the compression, but like in terms of which game style I prefer, I probably would say the one on the right. I really like the Spider-Man PS4 style.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's also just fun.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah. From what I've heard.
Then
Oh shit.
than realistic games. No matter how good the realistic games look, they will never
Are we just saying realistic games is like games that have people in them?
Games that have, if they have, I don't know, if they have people who look kind of real, if there's any, I don't know.
This reminds me of a guy.
Yeah.
It's real.
Man.
They will never ever stand the test of time because of this push for improving.
Fucking okay. Half-Life 2, checkmate. I win.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 has a realistic art style by the standards at which it was released, and it has stood the test of time.
Yeah,
That's true, yeah. I would say there's a lot of other ones from, from like the 2010s and whatever that kind of don't age great, but that's, it's just down to
I think that's
them not doing it as well or
Yeah,
whatever.
Half-Life 2 is a little yucky, but mostly.
Yeah, no, but it
How
like
dare you?
No, I think it looks. I still think it looks like really good.
You can still play it.
Yeah.
I like it. Just when you look at like Alex,
Left 4 Dead
if you look
2.
at like a shitty like room or whatever, then some of those aren't great. But if you look at like Alex doing her animated scenes and stuff, that all looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Also, Left 4 Dead 2. People in that.
Yes, Left 4 Dead 2 looks like something
yeah.
that could have been released like now, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Portal 2. I don't like Portal 2 very much, but it's got a super good style, and just the fact that there's no human characters and stuff lets it hold up.
That helps
better,
a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd say. I think I'd say Portal is probably more stylized than the other two games, though.
Yeah, Portal 2 at
Yeah,
least, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bad.
As soon as hardware gets even the slightest bit better.
I thought you were saying there was basically no difference. Wait, no, let me hear the whole thing again, because that's just a contradiction, I'm pretty sure.
True.
Realistic games. No matter how good the realistic games look, they will never ever stand the test of time because of this push for improving it as soon as hardware gets even the slightest bit better. Also because there'll always be a comparison to it, that being real life.
Okay, we can ignore that point. Yeah, no, that's just a contradiction from the thing.
Yeah, that's from the start of the video.
Yeah, that's
The whole
just a
point was that
contradiction.
It doesn't look any different from the PS4 or whatever.
Yeah, because he was saying that there is no difference between, but like, if there's no difference, then why it doesn't matter that they're pushing for more things, and why are you saying that there's always going to be a better thing, and that thing is going to make the other one feel obsolete? Bleh.
Always be a comparison to it, that being real life. No matter how hard they try, realistic graphics will always, and I mean always, look uncanny. Just because you can go up to your dad at any point.
No. Realistic graphics can be done. Norman Rockwell. But realistic graphics can be done in a video game setting, and they don't look uncanny. I didn't know if this was a hot take. Are we talking about like hyper realism? What does he mean? What are we talking about?
It'd be great if you could give some examples.
What the fuck? Where did Prey go? Did he ever elaborate? Prey is gone. Prey's
out of the
gone.
picture completely.
I don't even remember
It
what
was
he
like,
said.
this one was good, but one person said it was bad. Moving on.
What the fuck? And like he introduced it like it was gonna be a really big point, and like it's gone, never to be seen again. Also, holy shit, it's my dad. This is crazy.
Hi, Dad.
Just because you can go up to your dad at any point, look him in the face, and compare him to Joel from The Last of Us.
Frankly, the Joel from The Last of Us looks more like a person than that person you put in front of me.
Honestly,
the smiling man looks like more uncanny than than Joel from The Last of Us.
A little bit.
You can't do the same with Chai from Hi-Fi Rush though, can you? Speaking of Hi-Fi Rush, that's another incredibly stylized game, going for this comic book cartoony style which is just outstanding. Hi-Fi Rush will stand the test of time compared to a game like The Last of Us, which is
wow! Ooh, ooh,
What did we just say?
The Last of Us has been out for since. Oh my gosh, The Last of Us is still regarded as one of the best games ever made to this day. By a lot of people. What the fuck? What is
A lot of people can be wrong.
Okay, look, we're not going to talk about how accurate of a statement. I'm just saying, in the eyes of the general public, The Last of Us 1 is still one of the greatest games ever made. I haven't played it, so I can't speak to whether or not that's true, but it is inarguable that it has stood the test of time. Like, it was released over a decade ago.
How many remasters has it gotten? Like 7?
I got 1.
No, there was a remaster and a remake, because they remastered it real quick on PS4 as well.
Oh yeah, there was a remaster and then they remade it recently. Yeah, that's true. But like it has always been the fact that they even felt the need to remaster it. I think it speaks to the fact that it's like this game. People care about this game. People really like The Last of Us 1. I think this is a stupid. If you're gonna make this point, I don't know why you would choose The Last of Us 1. This is a horrible game to use this point for. You could have said like fucking anything else.
Yeah.
This frustrates me.
Compared to a game like The Last of Us, which is probably why they've remastered it 3 fucking times.
They have not. They have not. They remastered it once and then they remade it.
Yeah.
The first thing is the original game, so that doesn't count.
They remastered it when they made it. They probably mastered it once and then they remastered it before they released it.
They mastered it and then they remastered it and then they remastered it.
Yeah.
Mastered it as in like audio.
What the fuck?
Absolutely. Well, that's where the term is from, right? Or whatever. I don't know.
Also, like, for whatever it's worth, The Last of Us remakes the graphics based off this side-by-side comparison. Like, the art style for the one on the right is different from the original art style.
Yeah.
So, what now?
It's not really a fair comparison.
Yeah. This is cringe.
It 3 fucking times to try and gaslight us into thinking that it always looked amazing with its realistic graphic style. To be honest, Microsoft probably shut down Hi-Fi Rush because Chai didn't have any rendered eyelashes and they wanted to compete with
what do you mean they shut down?
This is a good joke. Take my Reddit gold.
What do you mean they shut down? Did they shut down the studio that made it?
Yeah, they killed it.
That was
they
a huge controversy.
A little bit ago.
Okay.
Look at one studio is doing like a cool new thing get shut down.
It's because they don't have rendered eyelashes. Okay.
That's exactly.
Proxidus has the crack the code.
It was also because the game didn't take up 200 gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't taking enough space on people's SSDs.
Yeah.
It was the controversy was called hard drive gate.
That's so
they don't make the money from selling the game anymore. They make it from selling the SSDs so you can play it.
Yeah, big
That's where the real money is in the industry.
Yeah, the controversy at large was called Seagate.
So true.
That's fucking hilarious. I don't know if anyone got that, but it's very funny.
By Rush because Chai didn't have any rendered eyelashes and they wanted to compete with Sony or some shit. I don't fucking... I'm still coping at the fact we will never get a sequel to this game. It genuinely pisses me off. What I'm trying to get at in this video is games need to stop trying so hard to be as realistic as possible. And people need to stop determining if a game is worth it or not by how well rendered the main character's eyelashes are.
Who the fuck? Who?
Everyone.
Who?
You know, this video makes me want to go play Horizon Forbidden West, honestly.
I mean, look at the eyelashes, though, honestly.
Also,
her eyelashes look great.
Also, for what it's worth, sometimes realism's important for game design reasons. Like, if I'm playing the Forest, for instance, like, obviously there's, like, there's not real, like, horrible monsters in the Forest. Not the meme, by the way, chat, the actual video game. But, like, there's the in the Forest. I should have picked a different example for this, because now everyone's going to just be thinking about the Forest and what happens in the Forest. But yeah, basically, sometimes if a game sets out with a realistic premise, you don't want to have, like, the game contradicted by having some non-realistic bullshit. that like, oh, I like that's like the me and Zesty's point with the whole the TF2, like if you swing at a person and you shouldn't hit the person behind them because why the fuck would that happen? Thing. It's not because like, oh, this is a realistic, hyper realistic game. It's like sometimes realism isn't the point. It's like, oh, this game should be consistent with the way in which physics works, and that sometimes with more realistic games that take bigger swings, that's more difficult.
Apparently, Hi-Fi Studio is back.
Hooray!
They got rebought up or something.
Hooray! Poggers.
I bet they'll make a spiritual sequel because they don't own the rights to the first one or something.
They'll make
Or maybe they do.
Ri-Fi Hush.
Sure.
Yeah.
Stop determining if a game is worth it or not by how well rendered the main character's eyelashes are. Focus more of that energy and time into making the game fun and actually visually cool, rather than a glorified tech demo to sell hardware. Trying to get all of these AAA games to focus on this stupidly realistic art style and detail is most likely one of the main factors as to why games are taking so much longer and costing way too much to make. The most important—
way too much. Too much is...
I wish they would have cited literally any real figures or metrics.
That would have been great. Could you imagine if the video was researched? Would be crazy.
No, that would have taken effort.
No, we can't do
have
that.
that.
That's a detail. We can't add the detail.
Any effort besides actually playing games and getting footage?
Yeah.
The survives video.
Why you didn't even need to get the footage. You could have just taken someone else's footage.
That's true.
Yeah.
Too much to make. The most important part of a game will always be the gameplay, and nothing will change that. If more games went for—
no. Wrong. I disagree. There are games where the story is clearly the focus of the game over the gameplay. And the gameplay is meant to serve the story, not the other way around. And that is okay. Also, sometimes games can just look really good. Like, for whatever that's worth, like, I think sometimes games can be built to just look really good.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't have an example for you, honestly. I feel like I could, but, like, yeah. Anyways.
Will change that. If more games went for a more stylized look that's easier and affordable to create, whilst looking amazing, then we would probably see far more games coming out, and we won't be stuck in a situation like we are now.
What do you mean far more games coming out? What are you talking about? Where?
If they didn't, the eyelash team could be just making a different game instead.
Yeah, but like, why?
The eyelashes.
But there's a lot of games coming. There's more games coming out now than there were 20 years ago. Like by a metric shit ton amount. Like there's so many more games.
There could be
a lot of games.
Even more though. Everyone could be making an indie pixel game, and then there'd be like a trillion games coming out.
But that's why
These people are just allergic to indie games.
I love indie game. Indie game's so good. Ultra Kill.
In 2024,
Listen,
where only
I think it's just like Sony's not making a lot of new games every year because they've like fucked their PS5 thing, and this guy's got a PS5, and it's been an unfortunate time, and I think he's
they just keep remaking the same
That's the
shit
feeling
over and
I get.
over.
Yeah.
Won't be stuck in a situation like we are now in 2024, where only two—
Rainbow Six is an example of a game where realism is important because the game's built to be as like where things make sense and the bullets and the weapons interact with things in a more realistic way. That was like the main Rainbow Six Siege. That was like the main thing, or one of the main selling points behind the game when it first came out.
Yeah, I punch a hole in the drywall and now I shoot you through it.
Yeah, and like that's like, it's like, oh, they could have just not had it where I punch the hole. I punch in other games like Call of Duty, you punch the wall and nothing happens. You just punch the wall. But like in R6, it's like, oh, you actually break the wall. It's like, oh, that's cool. But like, no, that took development time. We shouldn't put that in the game.
where only 2 AAA games worth anyone's time has come out, and the best game of the year isn't even gonna be a game.
That is kind of funny. Did you see the announcement that the Game Awards is gonna accept DLCs and remasters from now on, or whatever? That's like, specifically so they can put the fucking Elden Ring, give it a second Game of the Year award.
The DLC thing I'm cool with, but not remasters.
Yeah,
You know
remaster
what?
seems
Mario and
worse.
Luigi Brothership should be Game of the Year. So they make another one.
Is it good? I haven't played it.
It's okay. It's not as good as the other ones, but I want them to be encouraged either way because it's not selling as because they released fucking 3 Mario RPGs in the span of 2 years, so now no one's gonna buy this one, even though it's the one I want them to make more of. So everything's gonna suck. They're just gonna make Paper Mario for all the people who like Paper Mario. I like Paper Mario, but it's
I also like Paper Mario.
It's not as much though.
Man, that was bad.
That was kind of an abrupt ending.
That was really bad. That was rough. That entire experience just made me frustrated. Also, that was it was not as bad as the Webfishing one because it was longer, so he had to say more things, but it still had the same things. He just kind of listed stuff for the whole video. Like
pretty much.
He didn't expound upon things. He just said words.
It would have been better if he had done actual research on anything he was saying.
Like if he defined what graphical fidelity was, because it's like arguable whether or not he even talked about graphical fidelity in his video about graphical fidelity.
A lot of it was like, this looks good, but it makes things take longer, and that's a different argument.
Yeah.
He should have been arguing about games are bad because things take longer now because they look good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was really rough. I'm frustrated. I don't know where that ranks in all of the videos that we've watched. But it's probably a lower. It genuinely very much frustrated me because especially the statement that things like, oh, when Arthur loots something, he bends down to pick the thing up. Things like that are just so important to me that oh yeah, if you're going to make a game that's touts its immersion as one of the key things that makes the game, good, you should have things like that, right? And that's really cool. And I feel like that this video is just oh no, that makes development take longer. We have to be speeding shit up faster, and make more games faster.
Stuff like that, it gives it more of an impact when you pick up an item, right? It's not just a disposable thing that you grab and whatever. It's oh, this is the conclusion to the section of gameplay where you have to hunt it down and kill it or whatever, That's the end bit. That's the climax of that action or whatever,
Well, yeah, it's and it's one of the things that makes the game so good as a role-playing-esque experience or an immersive sim. That's what
people remember Ocarina of Time so fondly. If when you opened a chest, you just pressed A and then the item was in your inventory.
Yeah, probably not.
But Breath of the, that's what I was saying earlier with Breath of the Wild, it's not an immersive game. It's not supposed to be. At least not in the same way that Red Dead is. It's supposed to immerse you in an atmosphere, but it's not supposed to make you feel like you're doing the things that you're doing, or it's not supposed to be a realistic depiction of what life in Hyrule would be like.
I think for certain things, it just has different priorities. It wants you to be immersed in the climbing and the journey of all these things and whatever, but it's not caught up in all the details of it, which is
yeah, it's not
a different thing.
It's not thinking about the horse balls. It's thinking about it's thinking about the the schedules of the different NPCs as they walk throughout Kakariko or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like those Kakariko people. They're weird.
Wow, racist.
I don't think you can say that on the internet.
I don't think you could say that either. I think you're just a bigot.
I just did.
Dirty bigot.
And now your podcast's getting taken down.
I don't think they're gonna let you back onto Death Mountain after that one.
That's true.
I don't want to be there with those fucking Gorons.
Hey, that's our.
No thanks.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh man, I've been hanging out with Alan for too much. Oh fuck. God damn it. No, that's no. I think I don't fucking get it. I did not like that. I didn't like that video. Why are people why are people happening? What is happening in chat? People are People are just
They're
talking about
Jacob Geller.
yeah, they're talking about us to watch a good video. Like, do you know we don't do that on the show. We do that like once every 10 episodes. You guys get one good video for every 9 shitters.
It's like when mom and dad take you to get ice cream after you get good grades.
Yeah, and except like in this case, it's like mom and dad take you to get ice cream after they watched you walk over spiked rocks for 10 minutes
For ad revenue.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was UFR 39. We are going to do this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, probably because next week is going to be a rather long episode. We're doing an anime tier list, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Not now.
Anime.
We're doing it next week. On the anime tier list is happening. It's going to be next week. At the end of our discussion that I haven't announced yet. So that is still happening. I did want to say that.
Is Soul Eater on the list?
I don't know.
Whatever you've seen is on the
It's
list.
gotta be.
We're gonna get the list of every anime.
Yeah,
and
we're
then
gonna get a
skip
lot.
what we don't know.
Yay. Soul Eater's kind of mid. It's the only one I've ever watched, though.
It's such a the first opening is such a goddamn banger, though.
It is, yeah. The first like half of that's pretty good, and then they run out of manga to do, and then it goes. It's like an episode shift. You can tell exactly when it goes off, and then it's just filler for the rest of the show.
I'm not gonna say what the main theme is for tomorrow, or not tomorrow for for next week. I'm going to keep it under wraps until I know that I can make it happen, and that everyone's there. So yeah. Anyways, do you want to speak to anything you've got planned? You want to shill yourself before we get out of here?
Sure. I have been doing every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. My Twitch channel is AARMASTAH. I do map testing on my TF2 server, so if there are any maps that you've seen on the workshop that seem interesting to you, and you've been wondering, if you can find a place to play them, that is usually a good spot to do it. So if you're interested, hop on over.
Sounds cool.
Nice. Purple guy, what do you got going on?
Making Half-Life videos. I'll probably make a video about the Half-Life update. Half-Life 2 20th anniversary update. I gotta figure out all the stuff that's changed, though, so I'm gonna have to look into that.
You should make a video about all of your bad TF2 opinions.
TF2 brings me nothing but misery. I don't want to put time into that. I need to be done
just
with it
came out
forever.
and I didn't know what else to do, so I'm doing it.
What the fuck? What's happened? Oh my gosh, R is in my
Hello,
ears.
Gordon.
There's an R stream
recorded
VOD that is playing in my
Oh
ears.
my.
Anyways, yeah.
I recorded
yeah.
I recorded a TF2 thing once where I was like going through my inventory before I sold all my items, but it felt like a funeral, so I never like turned it into like a video or anything. So
That's
I
good.
don't know.
The funeral. Yeah, no, so that's cool. Alan, what have you got coming down the pipeline?
I'm here next week.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was. Jeez,
That's the way you tell him that he's off the show.
Fucking
Oh, no.
you're fired.
Alan, what have you thought? What did you think about your representation in the Webfishing video?
It was pretty good. I made you.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? You want me to say that line again?
You made me? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that
Me
real?
whipping out my big one. That's what made that video, and that's what made you.
That's true. That's
Just
true.
remember that.
I'll remember that when I blow up and act like I don't know a nobody. Yeah. For me, I have videos that are coming out. I don't know. Hold on, let me look at my calendar. I highly doubt I will have a video out before the end of this month. More likely than not, there will be 2 videos out in December. Or no, there will be at least 1 video out in December before I leave for America. And it will either be a web fishing video or a general video that has web fishing in it. I have 2 videos planned. I don't know which one I'm going to make. It depends on how much time I have, because one video will take longer than the other. So yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to the States in December, and that'll mean that videos are going to be not coming out until after I get back. But yeah, so you guys can expect more web fishing content, and I'm going to be streaming more as the month comes to a close. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, the monetization of references video is not canceled. It's just been delayed because I used it as a springboard to make the fire video. And that video will still be made at some point. It's just not a priority right now. Because I still made the thumbnail. I still wrote like a part of the script, so it's still gonna come out. It's not a priority right now. Anyways, without any further ado, I think we can get out of here. Thank you, R, for joining us. I appreciate it. I hope to have you on. You're welcome to come on anytime. If you're down to come on next week, we will be doing this again. If you're up for it. It was good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good time. I'm so bad at words, but I'm glad to have experienced that awful set of videos with y'all.
Hooray!
It was nice to have been able to provide insight, I guess.
Yeah, it was cool to talk to you.
I liked hanging out.
Yeah. Purple Guy, it was great to have you on, as always.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun to come on and stuff. I like talking about videos of varying quality.
Varying.
Varying.
Yeah.
Varying lower.
I think there was a varying quality between the two videos, you know?
There was.
They weren't exactly the same level of
one is slightly worse than the other, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
But yeah, on that note, see you guys next week, and bye-bye.